the potential of the ecosystem. So, guys, I'll just take you through quickly what we do and our vision mission. If you can just take it forward. So, as you know, D2C Insider is a community of all D2C founders in India. We started as a simple WhatsApp group, guys. We were 15 to 20 of us when we started. This was 2019, and we said we actually went to. I actually was after IMI, and I was telling them कि यार कुछ करो D2C के लिए. And they were like, yeah, D2C is too small. Retail के अंदर आ जाता है D2C. So we said, नहीं यार, we are a new age, approach, and we want a different way of doing things. And we actually, the retail guys are actually our competition, right? So we are actually trying to outdo them. So we want our own, we have our own tribe, right? So that point we said, okay, let's create a group between us, and 15 20 of us came together and just created the group. And then D2C boom happened. First, I think the COVID hit, right? So COVID was like a turning point for the community. The community kept growing organically through word of mouth referrals. Founders kept adding founders, and then eventually, because of the WhatsApp limitations, we actually ended up making multiple groups, right? So we said, okay, let's make north, south, east, west. Idea was कि यार regional कर देंगे तो at least the groups will not get full. Then all of them also got full, right? So then we said, okay, now let's create category groups. Then we said, okay, let's create a women's chapter, women's group, right? Then let's create, functional groups. So we have marketing, HR, all of that, right? Now, guys, we have 45 plus chapters pan India. Hyderabad, Telangana is obviously one of our chapters. We have about 300 founders from Telangana. And we also have a regional group, which is South, which has about, I think, 1,000 people plus now, right? Which includes Kerala and, the entire South region. But yeah, this has been our journey, guys. If you can just go back, Mrityunjay, I just want to talk about what our vision has been and why we are doing this. So when we started, we said, we are new age builders. We are going to disrupt retail as a ecosystem, and we want to create. The consumer is looking for innovation. The existing brands are not innovating, and digital is a great medium. It's a great democratization of retail because today you can go online and start selling, right? And you can actually ship to like 20,000 pin codes pan India. So this was like basically breaking down the barrier of innovation, of new brands coming in the ecosystem. E-commerce was happening since 2008 when Flipkart started in India, right? So D2C basically just became, the private label of e-commerce that became D2C, right? And, we have a new quality of entrepreneurs, professionals, like Varun from Mama, XHUL. Now, when these guys come and start building brands, right? Taran has come back from US and started Neiman's, right? So I think this quality of talent plus the digital, medium and the need for consumer to innovate, right? Because consumer is seeking innovation. All these three came together, and obviously fundraising also happened. A lot of money also came into the sector, and COVID hit, right? So when COVID hit, the community exploded, and we had a lot of new members coming in because people had real problems to solve. Yaar, mera maal nahi nikal raha, there were so many challenges at that time, right? So we kept growing, and we basically, when we started the community, we said, how can we, help each other, right? We are all building something new. How can we help each other? And I think that has remained our cause till date, right? The primary agenda of the community is to help each other, right? To share knowledge, network. So we define 4 key things we want to enable, right? So access, network, knowledge, and capital. These are the 4 things we define. And then whatever we do as a community has to be around these pillars, right? So for example, when we talk about knowledge, right? Now, if let's say Midula has built a large brand, right, and she has obviously gone through her own journey, she has a lot of learnings. How do we give those learnings to someone who's starting out today, right? It might be in the same category also, to be honest, right? Because we are not competing with each other. We are all competing with our incumbents in the category, right? So the idea is how can the 100 crore brand give that playbook to that 50 crore brand? How can the 50 crore brand give it to the 10 crore brand? How can the 10 crore brand give it to someone who's just starting out, right? So that we don't make the same mistakes. The learning curve is faster. Similarly, for capital, obviously, if we have all the ecosystem support and everything, we have all the knowledge, we have all the access. But capital is very important for entrepreneurship, right? Because that is the fuel to building anything, right? So we started our angel network. Today we have more than 400 angels in the community who are investing through our angel network. We have done 5 deals already. So Samosa Party was our first deal. Then we did Assembly Luggage. Then we did Basil, which is a beverage brand. Now we've just done Business on Board, which is a marketing automation tool. We've done Crest, which is an analytics tool for inventory forecasting for fashion, right? So I think these new startups which are coming in, if we can empower them with capital, I mean, it just boosts their go-to-market and their their ability to scale, right? So the 4 guiding principles we have defined for the community. The first one is obviously value add, right? So we are not a time pass community, right? We are not here to like share WhatsApp good morning and good night, right? Or have any political discussions. Here the agenda is how can we help each other's business growth, right? So the second is acceleration of the startup, right? So growth is what we are all looking for. We are all here because we are all looking to grow our business, right? So whatever we try to do is, aligned to how do you grow your business faster and better, right? The third guiding principle is new ecosystem creation, and that's why the Hyderabad meet, right? Because Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore already has so many things happening, but maybe Hyderabad has a lot of potential, and I think we need a lot more of these to happen, right? And same goes for, let's say, women as a chapter, right? So any area which is underserved is what we want to enable, right? So I think the whole idea is that if we have more brands in the ecosystem and more players coming in together, the overall ecosystem will grow, right? And the last is global expansion, guys. So I think this is very important to us from a longer term horizon, because India has always been a manufacturing economy, right? And today we have people who are building brands, right? And India has a lot of source of origin advantages. In a lot of categories, we have, like, tea is one of the categories where 95% of production of tea happens in India, right? So why should not an Indian tea brand become the next global tea brand? And that's what Vadam is trying to do, right? Or a lot of other brands, Tea Box and a lot of other brands, right? So I think using our source of origin and using our talent and using our domestic consumption, if we can tomorrow become the market leaders in these categories globally, right? Why should we not be globally dominant, right? Why should Indians not be able to build brands which are resonating globally? And I think that future is coming. We're already in that direction. We have a lot of companies now who are going global through cross-border, through Amazon. So we're also partnering with Amazon Propel, which is their accelerator for the cross-border thing, right? So I think you see a lot of these brands actually, so in fact, we are now evaluating a deal which is called Jack in the Box. It's a toy company. It is selling in Amazon, right, on US, right? So an Indian company building, games for kids in the US, right? I think a lot of these examples will come out, and our ambition is obviously to create, to turn India from a manufacturing hub to a brand hub. You can go ahead. So yeah, this is how we started, guys. We started with 20 members. We kept adding things, and I think whatever has happened organically based on member feedbacks. Someone said let's do meet. Someone said, hey, I went to this growth X accelerator and kuch D2C specific nahi tha. Can we have something for D2C, right? So we created Elevate, which is our 3 months boot camp. So if you're a new founder, if you're early stage founder building a new D2C brand, we have a structured program like Elevate where we have all these 30-40 top guys from the community coming and teaching you, right, in their respective domains, right? Then we have our capital, our angel fund, right? Then we have things like our newsletters, right, where we basically send you content every week on what is happening in the D2C space, right? We have our summits which we do in Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, the larger events which I was talking about. Then we started a bot, right? The reason we started a bot was, everyone wants to network and people don't know whom to talk to. So you can go to the bot and say, hey, I want to meet this category founder, or I want a, warehousing vendor, for example, right? Bot will actually start giving you recommendations. So it's a easier way for you to connect to each other, because now we have 7,000 plus founders in the community. So it's very difficult for people to like find relevant people, right? So this has been our journey, and the journey continues. Just go ahead, Patanjay. So this is how we have defined, what all we are doing, right? So based on the stage of the, startup, so we've defined 4 cohorts. So early stage, growth stage, matured stage, and then once you exit, which a lot of us have, like we have had. This is one area, guys, where there's a lot of M&A which happens, right? So we already have so many founders in our community. Mohit from Mom's company, Deep Sirona, Naya from Good Glam, Baby Chakra. So we have a bunch of people who actually exited their brands and they've made good money out of it, right? Now once they exit, they community, or they start a new brand. For example, Trisha, Arjun with so these are new brands. Now she'll again go the same journey again, right? Obviously, she'll have a lot of learnings from the first journey, but every time you start up, you have to go through 0 to 1. There's no other way, right? So this is the cycle. This whole life cycle is what we are trying to map and create, interventions for each of these stages, right? So let's say if you're at early stage, you need growth capital, right? You need angel capital. When you are at a scale, you need more working capital, right? Because you're beyond the equity capital phase, right? Now you need more working capital because you already may be profitable. Most of the DTC brands beyond 100, 200 crores become profitable, right? They're supposed to be profitable if they're not, but most of them are, right? And I think in the current environment, everyone is trying to be profitable. So yeah, some of these initiatives we have already initiated. Some of them, if you see, are in yellow or red, which basically means they are in our radar, but right now we have not executed them. You can skip this. Yeah, guys. So we are like 7,000 founders plus now, more than 5,000 brands, more than 2,000 enablers. We have almost every VC partner in our community now. So if you're looking to raise money, you're looking to connect to vendors, manufacturers, retailers, everyone, the Amazon category heads, you name it, everyone is even the Shark Tank guys are in our community. So yeah, I think the whole idea has been to make it inclusive, have as many different stakeholders as part of the ecosystem. When we started, if you remember, we were initially only brands, right? And then we opened it up to enablers, and because initially it was always that, yeah, we don't want enablers and investors in our community because हम openly बात नहीं कर सकते, right? so so then we started creating different chapters for different types of people, and now we have a different chapter for investors, for example, where we have more than 500 VCs, right? So all the fund partners are there in our community, right? So it becomes very easy if a founder pings and says, yeah, I want to like connect to Bloom Capital, for example, right? It's very easy for us to connect you, right? So if you have any such requests, you can go to our bot, you can just type in the message, and the bot will actually do a two-way connection to you, right? So yeah, these are some of our community brands. I think now we have almost every brand in the D2C ecosystem as part of our community. I think over the years we have kept adding people, and wherever we find someone who is not there, please feel free to invite them. Next. Yeah. So these are all the investors in our community, guys. Next. Yeah, guys, these are some of our early members. So when we started the community, these were our founding members. So I think we got lucky there because a lot of them actually ended up scaling their brands and exiting their brands, right? So they are very active in the community. Even today, we have Anupam and all very active in the community. And I think this is one community where people are really open to each other. I think it's not just about being in a community. I think like we are part of, like I'm part of personally a lot of other communities also. I think the good thing here is that everyone is open to helping each other. It's not like yeah, मेरा एक knowledge है या trade secret है, I don't want to share it out, right? Everyone is very open because I think consumer guys are also very open generally, right? We are more flexible compared to let's say SaaS or B2B or enterprise and all of that, right? Because this domain has so much of innovation happening that anyways what you have done yesterday is not relevant tomorrow, right? So it's not like there's some secret sauce which you'll not share with others, right? I think that is what builds a community, right? The moment someone is open and willing to help you and go out of the way to actually help you, and it's like giving back, right? So it's a cycle, right? So when you get help, you also tend to give help, right? So that's been our approach, and I think all of these guys have been very open and helpful. Next. So yeah, guys, these are all our chapters. So it's become too much actually now. We have like so many chapters now to manage. But yeah, we just added our Middle East and South Asia chapter, and we are trying to build those regions now because a lot of brands are going to these regions, right? And we're also planning a Dubai expedition where we'll take some of our brands to Middle East and we'll get them to meet all the ecosystem players there. I was just discussing with Midula also, right? We have chapters like Chandigarh, guys. I mean, we did a meet in Chandigarh 6-7 months back, and it's amazing. I mean, the quality of talent, I mean, the entrepreneurship happening in these places, you'll be amazed, right? And I met a brand in our Jaipur meet who's like 150 crore ARR, profitable, bootstrapped, and I'm like, yeah, तुम funding क्यों नहीं उठाते हो? And he's like, हमें कौन fund करेगा? I'm like, dude, you have 150 crore ARR, profitable apparel brand, men's apparel, right? Top seller on Flipkart, right? Has no access. I mean, they think they are not like VCs are not going to fund them, and any VC will like die to fund them, right? Because 150 crore ka profitable ARR brand with I think a 12% EBITDA or something, he said, right? And the guy is ex-Navy and all, right? So I'm saying there are such hidden gems all across. It's not just Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore anymore, right? Next. So guys, some of the things we have been doing, like the bot I was talking about. So there's a number, you can just add it to your WhatsApp. You can just go and say hi. Obviously, you have to be registered in the community. The bot has to know your data. So once the data is once you're registered in the bot, you can start interacting with the bot, right? So it's a very cool bot. And we also use it for our events, right? So within the event also, if you want to meet people, you can go in the bot and you can say Hyderabad meet, and it will tell you which are the guys in the Hyderabad meet, and then you can say I want to connect to Parikshit, for example, right? So it will send a message to Parikshit and say, hey, this guy wants to connect with you with the LinkedIn profile. Parikshit will say, okay, connect me. Then it will connect you to Parikshit, right? So it's not a spam coming in, right? It's not random people pinging you. Next. So this is our weekly digest, guys. I was talking about the newsletter, right? So this goes out now to 30,000 people who are subscribed to our newsletter. It's a weekly newsletter. We are now in the 59th edition, right? We have more than 60% open rate. And if you basically go through the newsletter, it's like a summary of whatever has happened in the community in the whole week, right? Conversations, founder corner, brand offers, news, articles, all of that, right? So very proud of this, and our team really works very hard to curate this every week. We can skip this. I think we've not launched this yet. Yeah, these are our events we do, guys. So like I was talking about, the CXO meet. This is one of them. Then we have the regional summits, and then we are planning the national summit. So we are planning like a expo kind of a format, guys, where if we can do a trade fair for new age commerce, as an ecosystem, and we can have everyone displaying their latest products and all of that, right? That would be very cool, because a lot of brands who go to Ahar and some of the other places come back and say, Abhishek, yeah, there is no space. I mean, we just get lost in the whole crowd, right? So why not do something for new age, right? So maybe we'll pull it off at some point. But yeah, that's one of the vision we have. Next. Next. You can skip. People will get bored. Yeah, this is the Elevate program, guys. So if any one of you are in that 5-10 lakh MRR kind of a stage and are really looking to grow fast, right? This is a 3 months boot camp with all the top founders of the community coming together. Like Kawaljeet from Fireside is taking a session on fundraising, right? What better than that you can get, right? So I think it just cuts down your time to market, gives you the right playbooks, and also gives you access to the demo day where we have all the VCs coming in. You pitch live to all the VCs, right? Next. So guys, these are some of the mentors, speakers in the cohort, and really thankful to all of them. Frankly, all of them are very busy people, but they all take out time. They say, Abhishek, this is for the community. I want to like come and teach, right? Some of them have already exited their brands like Mohit and all, right? So they have more time available, but a lot of them are actually not having time, right? Because when you're a founder and you're in that journey, we all know how it is, right? It's very, very difficult, right? But because everyone wants to contribute in the ecosystem, and like I said, the community is very open. It's not like, hey, I have built something, I will not want to come and share it, right? So we have the Campus Sutra guy who Campus Sutra is one of the larger brands on Amazon and all, right? So they have really cracked apparel marketplaces. So this guy actually came and opened up his Excel sheets, trackers, and showed everyone this is how we track, this is how we manage our inventory, all of that, right? I'll send you the Excel sheets, right? So I think this kind of thing no one will share, right? So I think it's very, very good that these people are willing to share all of that, because if you're a brand starting out and you get that template, maybe it will save 6 months of your effort, right? For you to build that from scratch. Next. Guys, this is our Super Angel Fund. So we just created a small fund. We have more than 35 people from the community investing in our fund. Someone is putting 25 lakh, someone is putting 50 lakh. The whole idea here is that, if we can all come together and help each other, filter deals. And so we have 15 people from the community who are part of the internal committee, the investment committee. And the idea here is that we will do early stage investments. And like I said, we have done 5 deals till now, right? And it's operator capital. Basically, it's all operators, founders who are putting in capital, right? So if a founder is raising capital, obviously you go to a VC and raise money and all of that, and you go to angel networks and all. But with us, the idea here is that these are people in the same domain who are putting in money. So obviously capital is ancillary, but more important is the skin in the game, right? Someone putting in money obviously will be an advisor, mentor also for you, right? So it's relevant capital for you. And I think this is in the right direction, because we have this feeling that we founders can solve everything ourselves. We don't need a lot of gatekeepers, right? So we are trying to break down the gatekeepers and basically create something where we can all invest in each other, essentially, right? So yeah, this is also a new initiative. We started this in Jan, and we've done 5 deals till now. We have about 35 LPs, and yeah, we are getting a good deal flow here. Founders who are in the community are applying, and they're very keen to obviously get all the founders. And this also came from the community, because a lot of founders used to ping and say, yeah, I want to access the founders, I want to talk to Taran, yeah, I want to raise money from Taran, right? But Taran doesn't have time, right? So if Taran invests in the fund, it becomes easier. Now we have a team to manage it, right? So it becomes more structured also for the founder. Also, you get a single check with, let's say, 30-40 top founders investing in you. Yeah, so that's our team, guys. We are blessed with more than 100 volunteers in the community. Is Jitendra here? I'm not sure. Hi, Prashant. Prashant is there. So, guys, we have like a lot of people from the community contributing to the cause. This Hyderabad chapter has multiple volunteers who come and do the Reiki, who do the promotions, who figure out the logistics, goodie bags, all of that, right? So I think it's great to see everyone pitching in, and it's always been a joint effort. And all our speakers, panelists, they're all taking out time to come and share their bites and knowledge with you. So yeah, apart from that, now we have a full-time team running the community. So now we have 15 people team, including Ronil and Mithunjay and operations, marketing, all of that. Because this went beyond a stage where we could not run this on a volunteer mode. So we needed a hands and feet, right? Because to do this at a scale, you will need infrastructure, right? So we started building the team 1 year back, and still in the process. That's it, guys, from my end. But I'll hold on. I just so guys, I'd like to invite Shantala Vegas from VHub. She's the associate director and head of strategy and partnerships at VHub. Thanks a lot. Just like to have her say a few words about the VHub mission and the whole idea about hosting this event for us. Thanks a lot, Shantala. Over to you.
Thanks, Abhishek. And thanks for that overview on what D2C Insider is doing. So it was quite interesting and educative also, including for me. So yeah, first of all, namaskaram, adab, and good evening to all of you here. And most of you, I think many of you, it's new for you, and VHub is new to you. So a very, very warm welcome to you, especially on behalf of my CEO, Ms. Sita Pallachola, who was supposed to address you guys today, but she has been called to the secretariat for a very important administrative meeting. So she had to, with a very, heavy heart and apologies to you, she had to take leave of this meeting. So you are stuck with me. And I'm going to make the best use of this captive audience to tell you what VHub is doing. So yeah, without much ado. So VHub was established in the year 2018 as an outcome of the global entrepreneurship summit that happened at Hyderabad, along with WEP at the center, which is a women entrepreneurship platform. At Telangana, we are India's first state-led incubator dedicated to women-led enterprises. So anybody, any woman-led enterprise, any woman with an idea or a desire to become an entrepreneur can walk into VHub and expect to get either a knowledge transfer or some kind of an intervention or the specific, help that she is looking for, depending on where she is on her entrepreneurial journey. So we are sector agnostic. So today's hero is D2C. Yeah, let me put it out there. We are sector agnostic. We do not, stress on what is the educational background, what is the geographical location that the entrepreneur comes from. None of those matter to us. In fact, we even, we are even working with the trans women community as well. So as long as you have a zeal for entrepreneurship or even that little spark in you, you're most welcome to walk into VHub and, exploit the various opportunities that are here for you. As VHub, we do three important things. We do several, several things, but we can categorize it into three important things. The first one being access to government. So many times what happens is there are all these schemes available both from the central and the state government, but there might be the same pool of people who are accessing the funds, or there might be, some kind of a jijak in you, right? To whether the government schemes are for me, whether it'll become something else, whether I'll have to take, routes that I have never taken before, and, all those things. So we come in as an enabler and we operationalize the government schemes for you. So we have a very efficient team which, handles compliances and funds also, and all the government grants too. So all this is made possible by us being instituted by the government of Telangana. And the second thing that we do is incubation across the sectors. So we bring in experts, we bring in industry experts as mentors, and we have programs tailored to the sector-specific needs, and also to each of the entities. Once they get into incubation and acceleration, it's not a classroom model anymore. There you have personal interventions that are given. And the last thing, but which is very, very important, which, I think today what we are gathered here for also is the same thing, networking and collaborations. So we promote a lot of networking, peer learning among among the entrepreneurs who are registered with us, and also open it up to collaborations for anybody to walk in and take advantage of these initiatives that we have. And also, one important thing that we do is we work through collaborations, we work through partnerships, we work through collaborations. So you get a shortcut to the testing facilities, that are amazing testing ecosystem that we have at Hyderabad, only second to Delhi, like CCMB, Ag Hub, and several other government set up testing facilities. You get a shortcut to that when you come through us, because you can always go to CCMB directly, but there is always a long queue, right? So we facilitate, we do all the groundwork for you to make that queue shorter. And we also collaborate with from the panchayat level, from SERP and MEPMA to international organizations, international governments. We have all kinds of collaborations and partnerships in our kitty, which are aimed at helping each and every entrepreneur who registers with us. For this, we have 4 important verticals. So the first one is social impact and entrepreneurship vertical, which works mainly in tier 2 and tier 3 regions. They also work with indigenous communities, transgenders, PWD groups. And this, the main aim of the social impact and entrepreneurship vertical is to take on an entrepreneur from whichever stage she is to a higher level through economic enablement. Because we strongly believe that social change and social empowerment of women cannot happen without economic enablement. So this is where social impact and entrepreneurship vertical comes. Next is the urban incubation, in which there is incubation available to the urban entrepreneur across the board: service incubation, tech incubation, co-incubation, and also fund-based incubation, where there is an external fund available for these programs, and we design incubation programs around that, specific sometimes to the need of the fund and sometimes to the need of the hour, depending on what we are working on at the moment. And then we have D2C, direct to customer, where we facilitate access to market, access to network, access to funding, and brand visibility. And we have a very vibrant entrepreneurship and student, which is a student vertical of WeHub, where we see that the seed of entrepreneurship needs to be planted at a very young age. Only then it becomes easier, much easier at a later stage for the girls to get into entrepreneurship and to stick to entrepreneurship. So these are the 4 verticals that we have. And in student vertical, we have capacity building programs, entrepreneurship training programs, ideathons and hackathons, and also master classes and workshops. So with that, we come to the hero of the day, the D2C vertical. So in today's fast-paced and digital-first era, D2C has emerged as a prominent, if not the largest segment in the consumer goods segment, right? So all of you are here because you're part of that segment. So in the last decade or a decade and a half, we have seen an exponential growth in the D2C sector with the brands like, all of you who are gathered here, the leaders and the rock stars of D2C. And among them, when we list the top brands of India, we talk about the Neemans and the Lenskarts, the Zivamis of the world, the Good Glam Group, Mama Earth, Bliss Club. Do you know that? I mean, most of you know here, but if someone is new exploring, so the last 3 brands that I named are women-led. So, that's the kind of, presence that women have in D2C segment. So it's not just an observation, but we have data to back this. Before that, when we talk about Pan India, Hyderabad also boasts of some very, very good women-led brands like our very own Mivi Midula, whom we have here, and also Daughter Earth and Nourish You, who have made it big and made it seem and proven themselves that success in D2C brands for women-led businesses is attainable and possible. I was talking about the data. So DPIIT data states that today women lead around 52% of the top 3 D2C segments in India. So if you take personal and home care, F&B and fashion, 52% of the brands that are registered in DPIIT are already led by women. And how did this sudden shift happen? There was a 2,700% increase over the past few years that happened. And how did that happen? COVID. Yeah. So, you can trust that you put a woman in a difficult situation and she'll find a silver lining to that, right? So 2,700% of increase. So you can imagine the potential that was hidden till then. So, a major contributor being COVID, but there were already players who were already, active in this space. So VHub entrepreneurs are also a testament to this fact that, no matter how big the cloud is, I'll see that I'll hold on to the silver lining and ride the rainbow with it. So we are inspired every day by over 120 D2C brands that are associated with us at any given point. So over the years, we have a strong portfolio, but at any given point, we have over 120 brands that are associated with us. Just to name a few important ones in those, we have Michu. I think Dr. Sumalata is here. I think I saw her somewhere. Yeah, Dr. Sumalata incubated with us. Please give her a big hand. She has done amazing work. So her brand is baby and personal care brand, which is Michu. Do we have someone from Tummy Friendly Foods? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so Tummy Friendly Foods by Sridevi Ashala, which is certified organic baby food brand. Both of them received brand visibility, funding, and access to market through one of the shows also that we have supported. Then we have Fitter Bites, which is a millet-based product brand by Shilpi Singh. Earthful, which is a vegan supplements brand by sisters Veda and Sudha Gogineni. And Kalanika, which is reviving traditional Telugu weaves for today's women, again by sisters Kavya and Ramya, who are based at Mumbai and incubating with us. So just to make a note that, it's not just Hyderabad-based or Telangana-based women entrepreneurs who are incubating with us, but it is across the board, across the country. So as you can see in the last slide, if you can change the slide, please. Okay, so we have two main programs when it comes to the D2C vertical. We have the Launchpad program and Emerging D2C Brands program. And through these two programs, we provide targeted interventions across the board, including market access, reducing barriers to retail entry, increased market visibility, enhanced brand recognition, mentoring and opportunities to test and better their products, branding and marketing interventions. So, if you can see this little picture here, this is our VHub's shelf at QMart. So this is something that, our team has worked diligently on, where if the brand meets the high quality standards and high branding quality standards also that we have set, then you get the shelf space at QMart for 3 months. And within that time, you either realize what are your shortcomings, and you go back to the drawing board and correct those little glitches and come back, which women do. They don't give up very easily, right? Or your products fly off the shelves, and then you are big enough to, to take a paid shelf at QMart post that time. So we have several initiatives like this for branding visibility and funding as well. VC Connects and several other opportunities of funding, including grants and including other, we have, again, we are working on Shark Tank kind of shows with several other players as well, not just one TV entity. That brings me to the amazing leadership of someone who has just run away. Uh, yeah. So my colleague Nirmala, head of D2C vertical, she is herself a food processing engineer and bona fide expert in D2C sector, whose efforts have made all of this possible. So, a big hand to her. Wake up. Yeah. So for any help in D2C, you can reach out to info-vhub at telangana.gov.in or catch Nirmala right here. And for partnership and collaborations with VHub, you can reach me. So once again, welcome to VHub, all of you, and wishing everyone a great evening and growth, success, and joy in your hearts. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for that, Chandra. And guys, with that, we will proceed with our first session. So, guys, I would like to invite Midula and Abhay for a small fireside chat between us. Please, can we get this now? Just go now. Please have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat. I'll take up here, I guess. I'll sit here.
Easier.
Yeah, much easier. So guys, thanks a lot for making it. Firstly, Abhay and Midula, both of you, and so the format here is a fireside chat, and we have a list of questions, but I think we'll chuck that and we'll take it between us. But yeah, I think Midula, you have been part of the community since some time, and Abhay, you have been part of the ecosystem since a very long time. So it would be great to learn from your journey, guys, and also have your thoughts on how founders here should what are the learnings and what has been the experiences. The whole idea will be for us to share that, and obviously if anyone has any questions, we'll open it up for Q&A after that, right? So I'll start with Abhay because you are the oldest one in this journey, right? So not older but oldest one from a journey point of view. So Abhay, so guys, Abhay, if Abhay started Marjack. This was, I think, which year was this? 2008-9. Okay. Oh my God, you're like pre.com. You're dinosaur. So Malamal I'm not aware of, but Marjack journey I'm aware of. So would be great if you could just take us through your journey quickly, especially the pre.com days, and now you see all of this. How do you feel about it? And no, not at all. I mean it. I mean, imagine someone starting pre.com era, guys. That was like a very different era.
I think for me, the journey has been for 25 years now as an entrepreneur. Started in, as he said, dinosaur days of e-commerce or digital commerce. 98 is where I started my first startup, first e-commerce company of India. So when the ICICI Bank gave the first payment gateway was given to us, 7.5% per transaction was the fees. 7.5% per transactions, 1.5 lakh rupees was the integration fees, minimum 25,000 per month you have to pay. And out of the total transactions, 20% was hold back for 90 days. And 60% of the transaction used to fail. The client used to reach to the site and he's never done anything. So those were the days when we went to Gati. I remember Gati was the logistic company here. I said, we want your services for e-commerce. The question was, what is e-commerce? Literally, that was the question asked. So pretty early, as you rightly said, in one word, dinosaur days, we started e-commerce. Being an entrepreneur, the Excel sheet was then also was the best tool. The business model was built. We were supposed to do $1 billion GMV in 2001 itself, as per the Excel sheet. But the reality was different. India has 30,000 internet connections, and those also dial-up connections, 3,000 rupees for 100 hours. Those were the days. I think many of you might not have been born by then. I think this is very early e-commerce days. Uh, Name of the company was Malamal. Malamal means in Hindi rich. Could not become Malamal from monetary perspective. I ran that startup from 98 to 2005, 7 years almost. Learned all the worst experiences of life during that period. What you should not do as an entrepreneur was I created a list of 25 items. Every year I learned 5. And it was there. Forget about D2C community. There was no venture capitalist. There was no angel investor. There was no startup world itself, right? And fortunately, I was based out of Hyderabad, which was not really famous for the good startups. And we had many infamous Satyam and other things. So everyone in Hyderabad, the investor used to have 3, 4 extra filters. Okay, Hyderabad entrepreneur charge is they used to check. In fact, at my home, my parents called me Raju. I requested them after 2009 not to call me Raju. I said, I'm an entrepreneur from Hyderabad. Plus, if people know that I am also Raju, nickname was Raju. Getting up, anyway, I'm not getting funding. It is very difficult to get funding. So just a joke apart. So it was a very interesting time where we went to Pullareddy, very famous shop. We asked them that we wanted to sell on e-commerce, on internet. The first question he asked, what is internet? Those were the days. And I said, this is the internet. We have created a portal called Malamal. Every city specialty we are bringing one place. And would like to provide you a global reach and all that English. The guy said, what is your name? What is your father does? I said, he's a high court judge. No one family does the business know. Why are you doing this? You're a computer engineer. Go join TCS, Infosys. By then they were doing decently well. Job up karo, ye sab kuch nahi hone wala hai. He was literally told me, kuch nahi hone wala hai, don't waste your time here. But I said, sir, thanks for your advice, but I just need a permission from you to sell your products on my site. And I will pay cash and pick it. He was generous enough, give me a letter that yes, I'm authorized to sell. After that, exactly after 1 year, Polarity used to give us credit. He never gave credit to Microsoft also. Right? You go to him, pay cash, collect the material. We got 2 months, 3 months credit. And the owner used to sit on the counter, and I don't remember the name. Behind that, to buy online, malamal.com. I said, yes. So this is the thing which we saw. The team was not aware. The first day, Deccan Chronicle used to be the very famous newspaper those days. So Deccan.com was the most popular site in 99, 2000. So we put a banner on Deccan.com for 10,000 rupees per month on the top. They were also, we might be the first customer advertiser for them, right? So they were also, and they gave us a remote banner. So banner was running on our server and we can change it anytime. We booked it for 1 year. And first day we put the banner on site. Our site was live. We went, slept home. Next day morning we reached office. We had 25 orders. Cake, flowers. Those are mostly gifting orders. And none of us were prepared for this, frankly. How do you deliver the orders? Right? Then we were 8-10 people team. Everyone became a delivery boy. We packed the material, went without packing. Couple of places we just gave the Polarity suite as it is. This guy, they questioned, there's no gift packing. We then learned your gift packing is required for gifts, right? So a lot of learnings being as I said, before ICICI, we had a payment gateway from US. So that used to charge us bomb. Money used to come by check in dollars every 15 days. So India was nearly not there. E-commerce was not. That is where we started. So 98 to 2007, I generally say you could not become Malamal from monetary perspective, but learned a lot about entrepreneurship. What you should not do as an entrepreneur. Hired all my friends, my classmates, my relatives were vice presidents in the company. I realized that I was already reached the US. I want to expand this business to US, and they were at Guntur or Karimnagar somewhere. They were going reverse. ये कुछ भी बोलता है, ऐसा कुछ होता है क्या? All that stuff. So there was a huge gap. The team plays a major role. That was the biggest learning which I got in my first journey. And a lot of guys were ready to invest in me. A lot of acquisition offers came. 40 crore was the offer I got for a 32 lakh GME business. I didn't know why. And being a first generation entrepreneur, and they had a listed company. Their plan was very clear. They wanted to acquire this, do a reverse merger, make it a .com company, take the price from 2 rupees to 200 rupees and make money. And they clearly told you, come to office, Out of this 40, 30 upfront, 10 crores in 3 installments for whatever, just come and keep the site live. If single order doesn't come, doesn't matter for us. It was in Bombay, that offer I got. And my father was a high court judge there. Then I said, this is something new for me. I didn't sell, frankly. I should have sold, but I didn't sell. I got worried. Sab chakkar mein phas gaye kal. My father is a judge here. Being the first generation, there was no VCs, there was no D2C community. So many heroes were not there those days. So somehow managed 2007. Then I decided to, I went through all shit. Almost 99, there was whatever investor we had, they were behind us. They wanted to put money in my company. Come 9/11 happened, .com bust happened. They all stopped picking my calls. I was suddenly hero for them. I want to invest. A lot of builders from Hyderabad, 2 crore dalte, 8 crore dalte, cash leke jao. So everybody thought that .com is a money making machine, right? You bas abhi 1 crore dalo, the store to ban jayega. But then soon they also realized the burst happened, and then suddenly no one started. And suddenly I realized, and I'm optimistic, being an entrepreneur, you're optimistic. 1 year almost we stretched with the same team, same office. Suddenly realized कि 5 crore रुपए का liability बन गया 2008 में, and 5 crore was a big amount for anybody. So then वहाँ से 4 साल तो सिर्फ वो liability clear करने में गया. That was the worst, toughest time in life. You have 20 employees. Every day was survival, but survived somehow. Team was with me, and then 2006. It's a long story. I can continue till 8 o'clock, so I will just try to keep it pretty simple. In 2007, I started my second company called Martjack. They were D2C insiders.
How did Martjack happen from Malamal?
So Malamal, as I said, that during that period in 2005-06, all guys, Pilarities and the 200 brands were selling on Malamal. They started asking me questions. We want to start our own website. And that is where I saw opportunity, because I said, in logon ko zarurat to padegi, because these are all Indian retailers, brick and mortar retailers, and they don't understand technology. Technology ko value bhi nahi karte hain. 500 rupees mein CD mil jata hai Begum Bazaar mein. So that is what they understand. So, but they will not be able to hire people also, right? People. So technology, they will need some solution. And that's where then we thought we will build a platform. It was a Shopify India, basically. And that year only Shopify started. It's a $40 billion company today. Only thing, we started on the same time. They started in right market. We started in wrong market. So India is not a market for SaaS. Here, nobody pays for SaaS. SMB SaaS, particularly, I'm talking about. Enterprise SaaS does work. But that also, you need to be in India, sell in US. Because Indians don't want to pay for SaaS. And I have so many experiences during that time. But when we started, the idea was to build a tool where any retailer, brick and mortar retailer, can go online. So they call it D2C insider. We were D2C outsiders. Right? They didn't build their outside to look and feel mobile app. Ye sab hamare paas ban jayega. And we did decently well at 25,000 brands, small retailers coming on our platform. First 3-4 years, 399 rupees per month was the fees. Like 4,000 rupees de do, website bana do. But then we realized that ye paisa nahi dene wale hai. Within 6 months, their whole excitement used to go. Then, because just creating a website is not e-commerce, right? That we learned very soon ki uske baad paisa lagana padta. That's just starting. That's not even 1%. But then, by then we realized in 2012, 2011, we got Amazon wanted to acquire us. So we went through the process, met Jeff Bezos, Amit Agrawal, everyone. It was a deep discussion. Term sheet signed. Our first HR interview happened. I have Jitendra here. His interview also happened along with Amazon. He was a CMO. He was heading marketing. So all that went through that process. And just 15 days before the transaction, you get a call that the deal is not happening, and some reason.
So did you meet Jeff Bezos back then?
I met Jeff Bezos in Seattle. So I went to Seattle.
Wow.
No, we were the first acquisition for them, planned acquisition. It was some $48 million plus $6 million RSUs. It was done almost. Like all interviews happened. My first HR interview happened during that time. So that 7 years was better. As I said, before going to the exit, we got a great team this time.
What an amazing story, guys.
We got a great team this time. That is the learning which I took from first venture. No relatives, no friends. Everyone, I will not hire 200 bodies. I will 150 brains. It was very clear. Funding wise, we raised around $7 million, but that was not easy. Again, that is the time Satyam happened in 2009. And then Hyderabad company, email में delete हो जाता था automatically, VCs के email में. So got rejected almost 100 times by the 80 VCs. I have the list of all of them. Couple of them 3 times, 4 times, 1 time. I know all the reasons which they gave. Nobody said no. But many of them started reaching out to me for other companies, my views on those companies. I used to get a call कि अबे ये company आया, PPT भेजा जरा देख के बचाओ. तुमको क्या लगता है? ऐसे मेरे company चला रहा हूँ मैं. So that is, so they made me like a consultant, but they didn't invest in my startup. So, but I raised it around 42 crores from 86 investors, and that was a different story that none of them I knew before. 10 लाख से लेके 12 करोड़ तक इन्वेस्टर थे. 86 investors from 11 countries, 22 cities, and all this money came in 135 tranches. Company ran for 100 months, exactly 100 months from start to acquisition. But the 42 crore which was raised came in 135 tranches. हर महीना funding आते, 135 tranches, 100 months. So
every month two tranche every month.
Every month, 5 तारीख को salary. My job was only that. I had a great team who executed the business. My job was to get right people.
पैसा
और पैसा लेके आओ. क्योंकि हर एक तारीख, see, from 20th to 5 तारीख, 20th of a month to 5th, 15 दिन was used to be toughest. क्योंकि was light bill, electricity bill सब आता था और salary used to be on 5th. 8 तारीख को करते नहीं थे because पैसे नहीं रहते थे. And out of these 100 months, there were like out of 80 months were the time where 8 तारीख 10 लाख का salary था शुरू में, it went up to 1 crore till exit. तो 10%, 1 लाख 2 लाख बैंक में रहेगा, 10 लाख का सैलरी करना है 5 तारीख को, don't know from where the money is going to come. But except 2 or 3 times, money landed in our account. So कोशिश चालू थी, ऐसा नहीं कि भगवान ने भेजा. I used to call desperately, ये वो. 86 investors on the cap table, put in so much of money from so many countries. In fact, income tax department का notice आया था 2011 में. And they wanted us to get they thought this is not the investment.
Ponzi scheme.
No, they thought this is not the investment. This is the business money, but you are not showing it as business money to avoid taxes. So they asked us to get the PAN cards of all the investors. 7-8 country में थे, 40 लोग थे तब.
अभी भी होता है ये तो अभी भी.
तो 15 लोगों का मिला. फिर we went there and asked for another 2 weeks. To the commissioner, I remember he said, "I have seen companies where people have taken money and ran away. This is the first company where investors have put money and they ran away." Right? So I see what he said there, and no shareholder agreement, 42 crores got there. But investors really trusted us. I can tell you that I never used to get a call. And in every pitch to an angel investor, all were angels only. Last line used to be invest that much which you can forget. And in fact, the people have invested double than what they intended to invest. So that line used to make that impact. I wanted to build a big company, but risk is there, right? There's no MIS calls, never had MIS calls. And last, when I exited, people asked me, "Aap MIS क्यों नहीं भेजते थे?" I said, "अगर मैं MIS भेजता था आपको, आप तो ये हैदराबाद में आके मुझे मारते थे, या फिर आप write off कर देते थे investment को, right?" So it was a different journey, very better team, but still the funding was not great because to build a SaaS product, to build a Shopify kind of product, which was used by Walmart's, Future Group, all large client we had.
I think
Pizza Hut,
Apple also. You guys
Apple, Pizza Hut, all were using our technology platform. We were around 2 crore rupees per month revenue, ARR those days, like 2000, I don't remember, 13, 14 when, but funding nahi ho raha tha. Then we changed from SMB to enterprise. The last client we acquired was 70 lakh rupees per month for SaaS.
Wow.
From 399 rupees, the last client before I exited, it was 70 lakh rupees per month.
ये कौन सा था?
Americana from Middle East. Indians नहीं देते. Multinational companies, and they understand the value of your product. Walmart used to pay me 7 lakh rupees. After Amazon deal didn't happen. So coming back to Amazon, so Amazon, we went through that 8-9 months of honeymoon, and it was like we stopped doing business literally. It was done deal almost. So everything we do in the morning, Amazon ko kya lagega? Is it? And Amazon was not supposed to acquire a company which is in e-commerce because they were a marketplace. We invoice the customer. So those 8 months, for the whole of my life, I was telling I do e-commerce, I do this. Those 8 months, I was trying to prove that I don't do e-commerce. Because their whole focus was to whether we have done a billing to the end consumer. Right? Otherwise, then the FDI regulation was... Yeah. During that time, we had Mukesh Bhai also wanted to come, Reliance wanted to acquire us. Gone through different journeys. But then the end result was in 2015, it got acquired by Capillary Technologies, which is a Bangalore-based company. It's a SaaS company again. One of the largest exits during those days, in 2015, first SaaS exit from India. The product focused on India, or 90%, 80% revenue was from India. So, and the decent exit, like we could, my investors or angels from 3x to 40x, everyone made. I could create around 10 million years in terms of dollars, couple of in rupees. When my driver made 19 lakh rupees, he resigned, became an entrepreneur, buy a car, Ola, Uber, he became an entrepreneur. So I think that was a 17 years of journey, which two companies which I ran. As an entrepreneur, I realized that where you start, where you end, you don't know. Be positive. Perseverance is the key of entrepreneurial journey. Hundreds of problems will come. At the end of the day, how positively you take those problems, how much you learn from each of that instance. It's not for weak-hearted people. Let's be very clear. You see those two Bansals and two guys, Ola guys, those are God gifted. God has given them extra luck. But 99% of entrepreneurs has to go through a lot of struggle. They can't show it to anybody because there is no one to speak. They are at the top. Even when Amazon deal didn't happen, 9 o'clock I got a call. Only 3, 4, 5 of core team we spoke. I was completely broken. First time I tried in my life for a business in front of my wife. I said, this is not done. Right? 13 years of struggle is too close and too far. I'm not for this. So, but next day when you go to office, you have 172 people working there. Your body language, you have to carry yourself. Nothing happened. Jo hota hai, अच्छे के लिए होता है. And literally it happened. The next deal was 40% more than what Amazon was offering us. So, but at that point of time, going to office, keeping that calm face, positive thing is not easy. It looks very easy to speak. So this is the journey of entrepreneur. It's a never-ending line. I thought after exiting Marjack, okay, I will take a break of 6 months and just relax, become an investor. I'm still doing a third company now, and I'm enjoying it fully. So it's a never-ending line. So I took it more time than what you expected, but
No, I think it's amazing, guys. I think even I was not aware of so much of details, right? So, and I think the journey continues with Recycle, and would love to know about that maybe sometime, down the line. But Abhay, I think you have been like, that's what I meant. Maybe it was jokingly, but I was serious about it. I think you are one of the few people who have actually gone through this whole cycle long back, right? And now seeing all of this happening, so much of funding coming in, so much of entrepreneurship happening, right? उस समय तो employees भी नहीं मिलते थे, I'm sure, right? So today startups have become cool, guys, right? And look at Shark Tank, right? I mean, it has made it even more mainstream, right? So kids want to start up today. Back then, no one wanted to join a startup, right?
When my relatives used to ask me at my place, क्या करते हो? इंटरनेट ई-कॉमर्स तो समझ में आएगा. तो ऐसे दुकान डाला इंटरनेट पे. तो बोले दुकान डालना है तो फिर हैदराबाद में क्यों डाला? अपने गांव में क्यों नहीं डाल दिया? Right? That is how. Those are the days where people were not aware about the word e-commerce itself. And employees तो मतलब startup word ही नहीं था ना. So where will you get people, right? Freshers लो, train करो, वो 1 साल हो गए भाग जाते थे. They used to get Infosys, whereas more polished buildings, better infrastructure.
No, absolutely. I think there are a lot of learnings from your journey, and like you said that every entrepreneur has to go through that, and you need to bounce back and come back the next day, and the output is always better end of the day. But we can't see it looking back, right? You can only see it looking back. So I think would be great, for all of these people here to learn from that, because a lot of them are actually young and in the early part of their journeys, right? So it all looks good from outside, but the reality is obviously very different, right? So, but yeah, जो भी होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है, like you said. I think that's the most important thing. Now, guys, just moving on to Midula for now. So, Midula, your journey has been very different. Obviously, you have built a D2C brand or a new age brand, I would say, in a very tough category, and you have built it profitably. You have built it bootstrapped. I think you're one of the only brands in this category from India which has built its own manufacturing. And I think recently now you have got into the component manufacturing also. So I think would be great if you can tell the audience about your journey and the Mivi journey. And I'm sure you have your own shares of ups and downs. Being a bootstrap brand in a super competitive category, which is very low margin also, right? And very high, like globally, there are a lot of large brands which are generally, this is not a category where a homegrown brand can really come in and break out, right? So how has that been possible, and how has been your journey If you could just take us through your journey quickly, that would be great.
I think I'll continue where Abhay left off. So he left off where people didn't know what e-com was. We started when people were just getting to know what e-com was. So we started the company in 2015. We both came back from the US. Decided enough was enough. To give a little bit of a background, we both, because Telugu states going to the US is common and required. You have to have
Not anymore, right?
Huh?
Not anymore.
Oh, it still is. You have to have at least one member of your family in the US. It's mandatory. So I was the first child, and so was my partner. So we both met there, both crazy about business. Both of us come from entrepreneurial families, very different traditional entrepreneurship. And so both our families were very, very unsupportive. They said, you do anything in life, no business. You can do anything other than entrepreneurship, because they believe that is the only field which is hard. Rest all is okay because you don't get into it. You feel rest all is decently done and fine. You found jobs there. So we both waited until we got married, and then we blamed each other at our home. Had that luck of seeing how powerful e-commerce could be
In the US.
in the US, because Amazon, there were a lot of companies that were shut down in the US because of Amazon. A lot of retail, huge retail stores, huge retail brands that had to shut down. And we were very lucky to land at the right time. And also electronics. I get this question a lot, why electronics? Because it also came from that need that, one time we came back to India, we were looking to purchase a couple of accessories. We went to a store, and then we saw Sony cable and charger, and they were selling it at around $30-40, if I remember right, where I could in the US buy it for 10-15. What happens is, the minute you go to the US, after a year, you become very conjuice. You will start counting every dollar into rupee and then rupee into dollar. So you go into that cycle and you're like, $1 means 50 rupees, 50 rupees. So you go into that cycle. So I've become really conjuice. Said, why should I pay more than what I'm paying in the US? So Vishnath said, I think this will be a great idea for us. Electronics is something our strength is in. We always wanted to come back. If we can make great quality electronics at affordable price, today India lacks an Indian brand like that. The international brands are selling it to us at a very high cost. And otherwise there are non-branded products just being imported from China, just 50 rupees, 100 rupees, they were selling them, but non-genuine. So space was like perfect. So we finally put together some money, I think 3 years of mine and his whatever we've earned savings. He also ran a business there, so we made a little bit more than my job, to be honest. So we took all that money and then one day packed our bags, landed here. The good thing was his company was still running by the time we landed here. So we came with that confidence that something goes bad, that is there. There is always a backup where there is revenue. So it was an exports company. And literally 25 days after we landed, policies changed and the company closed. So like all the revenue stopped. So we both came and we said, yeah, we have this nice company, revenue is coming. So we rented a nice house, we bought a car, and we also took an office space. I said, what should we do? We have only some money and we wanted to invest in business. We don't want to lead a lifestyle with it. We immediately said, we'll sell the car, we'll move out of the house, whatever, we very aggressively take actions. I think it more came from that point that we were very upset that we had a plan and all the plans had gone for a toss. So my parents and his parents said, like, relax, you've put together a decent amount of money, give it a few months before, don't be crazy kind of a deal. So in the meanwhile, we figured out maybe we've gone, worked on, and we were both very naive. We said, we'll start manufacturing from day one. This is our dream. We'll make the best products in the world, the highest quality. We'll start manufacturing. So went around the country, met a lot of people, and we could not find a single company that was making electronics in India. And I mean not electronic accessories. No, electronics only were being made in India. Even our refrigerators, washing machines, even something as a safe was still not being made in India. So we realized there's nobody we could hire and say, come on, let's build a team. So what we did was we said, let's first figure out what is the problem with the existing electronics in the market. Luckily, like I said, we know the power of e-com. So we went on to Amazon, Flipkart, read through thousands of reviews and saw, oh, this product, this is the problem. Then we went and sat in China, found some suppliers and said, I want you to develop a product for me. I don't have the capabilities, but I don't want to buy whatever you're selling. My country has a specific issue. We think this can be a solution. So develop products for me. It took us a good 8 months, good amount of investment went into that, but we were willing to take that risk and take that longer journey. And so that's how maybe happened. But we always, believed that manufacturing needs to happen at our hub. The reason being, he's saying Indians don't pay for SaaS. I would say Indians don't pay for anything. Including us, including everybody sitting in the room. For our company, we'll pay, but everything else we'll say, I want the moon, but don't even want to pay for the earth. Right? So, because of the price point, I could not go to an international supplier and say, you're making for the best quality for that company. And he'll say, yes, he pays me 10,000 rupees. But I'm saying I'll charge the customer only 3,000. How can I pay the manufacturer 10K? So we were never getting access to the tier 1 manufacturers. Even in China, if you haven't gone, there are multiple levels of manufacturers. We were getting all the tier 3, tier 4, no matter how much we convinced them, that was all the access we were getting. So that's when we've decided, no, we have to manufacture in India. We have to bring that because our mission has been quality electronics at affordable price. And we were very clear we didn't want to step away from the mission. That's how we've started building teams, team by team, step by step. We've started transferring all that knowledge to India. We've hired a lot of freshers from different colleges, gotten them trained, and step by step it came here. And 2020 was when we've decided to, everything was sorted. We built a small team and we want to actually get into manufacturing. So at that time, maybe was neck to neck in terms of market share. In 2018, maybe was neck to neck in market share pan India. So we had a lot of VC interest. Some of the top VCs have come to me and said, pick up funding, go market. And we would tell them we want to go into manufacturing. And suddenly the discussion stopped. Like literally people thought, I still believe they thought, they both are nut heads. Let's just leave this discussion there. There was one investor who told us, you'll 100% go bankrupt. You both have gone crazy. I mean, good guys, we really talked to him a lot with good intent only. He said, you both have gone crazy. You have no manufacturing experience. How do you think you will even start manufacturing? With what, you should build the brand. And how do you think you could do it end to end? It doesn't make any sense. And he also said, if you are still alive for 6 months after you start manufacturing, then call me, I'll come. So, but we were very adamant that this is the direction that we want to take, because we were continuously having problems with the products we were procuring, sourcing from China. Even though it was our design, it was still having problems. And when we talk to the supplier to correct a problem, they'll take 6 months, they'll take 8 months. And it used to feel very bad knowing that there is some problem in this product that I'm still having to sell to the customer, which I can fix. That was not okay with us. So we went ahead, again, re-risked everything that we have made in those few years, put everything again on the line, but went ahead and said, this is what we'll do. Peak COVID, when we started manufacturing, I had my second child. She was 1 month old. Vishnath would go to the factory every day, every day there were 2-3 people, getting COVID. He would admit them, come home. I had like this 2 small kids, but we went through that. It was a very stressful time in 2 ways. One, that, and 2, we've invested, instead of putting it in marketing, we've again invested a lot in manufacturing. And when you're initially starting manufacturing, it hikes up your cost. Your cost doesn't go down.
Capex basically.
Capex and even OPEX.
Okay.
Because now you're building team which doesn't have efficiencies, which doesn't have, scale. So a product that if I was buying at 10 rupees, now it's costing me 12. Very stressful time for 1.5 years. We were struggling with funds like crazy. There was a point where we would not even go to restaurants. Our outing was going to a chat bundle because they would only charge you 50, 60 rupees. We were like, can't afford more than this. So, and we are both the type of people, we don't want to ask parents for money because we believe they'll give you a lot of obligations. Why did you do that? A lot of drama comes with it. And nobody was willing to invest at that point of time because we just started manufacturing. So, but like you said, perseverance. I have a feeling like, that cycle happens every 3-4 years. Every brand, no matter which stage it gets to, will try to make the next leap. And then things definitely go wrong. No matter what scale you've reached, you don't know the next scale. And things definitely go wrong. And then always saying no. Fighting through it and saying, no, I will see light at the end of the day, has been a very strong belief for us. We could not have survived a few years in the middle if not for that kind of belief that no, we will someday get through this. Fortunately enough, after 3.5 years of starting manufacturing, today we are able to build a product that is almost on par with at least Chinese international brands. I mean, like a OnePlus or a Realme. We are able to build that kind of a product at 1/3 the cost,
Wow.
which nobody else is able to do. It has taken us 2.5 years, but now we've gotten and reached that stage. Today, there is a Black & Decker talking to us, a Xiaomi talking to us, asking us to make products for them. We're building a new facility, so we might also think about that. But that journey has resulted today, my cost of production, I can say, is at least eyes closed 25 to 30% lesser than any of my competition. So things have
That's
started.
a huge strategic mode, right?
Yes. And there were, 3,000-4,000 brands that have started we started in 2015, 16, between that to now. And today we're talking about only 4 or 5 brands because people have gone for that short, like short-term vision.
There is no entry barrier as such, right?
Quick money. Now there is a big entry barrier because the brands are quite established. It's become very hard to fight the brand name. So yeah, that has been the journey of Vivi and me.
So looking back, manufacturing has become your moat, right?
Yes.
Great. So I think that just proves that VCs don't know anything. So I think founders need to be headstrong and believe in what you're doing. And I think eventually, everything makes sense, looking back, right? So insight and hindsight is what we say, right? So I think from D2C point of view, even in the US, right, you've seen a lot of brands acquire factories, like Harry's acquired a factory in Germany, and a lot of D2C brands have been acquiring factories.
I was telling you, right, the other day, now we have EMS companies wanting to acquire Vivi because they want a brand. We have brands wanting to acquire Vivi because they want manufacturing. We are in that unique company that has it end to end, and we do. I mean, because we're not looking to sell or anything. We're not having those conversations. Right. But there is a lot of, we want that and they want this. So it's been a great move.
No, it's amazing. I think it's just a testament to us. Whatever you believe in, guys, we just need to stick to it as founders. I think obviously investors will have their own point of view because investors also follow a global playbook, right? Manufacturing is not sexy. Manufacturing will require a lot of capex, opex, all of that. But eventually, what works 5 years down the line, no one knows, right? So as long as you can stick to your guts, and every entrepreneur has a different gut, right? You might have a different approach than others. I think it's a double-edged sword also. If it didn't work, then everyone would be like,
absolutely,
we told you so. You were the one who were over smart. You thought that you are the one who can do it. If it works, then it's great, right? But end of the day, I think what we believe in is what matters, right? So because like Abhay mentioned, right? Going to office every day and facing all the employees and giving them that confidence. वो तो अंदर से आ सकता है, वो बाहर से नहीं आ सकता, right? So just stick to whatever you believe in, and I think both the stories are so amazing. In their journeys, in the perseverance. And Abhay, coming back to you, would love to know about your current journey. We all know about the journey till Marjack now. Recycle looks a very different kind of a play, right? So no idea about the space. So would love to know. And I've heard from Shruti that बहुत पैसा है space में, and it's like ये recycling में बहुत पैसा है.
So if you are,
D2C VTC तो बेकार है, इसमें कुछ होता नहीं है.
and that's true also.
है ना?
If
So
you
would
have
love to
seen
know,
that serial on Netflix where this Saif Ali Khan is also there, Secret Games.
Sacred Games,
हाँ,
yeah.
तो वहाँ पे एक डायलॉग है कि कोई बंटी बाई बोलती है कि बम्बई में सबसे ज्यादा पैसा कचरे में है. वो डायलॉग, that slide I used many times. So anyway, so just coming back to the journey currently which I'm going through. So as I said, every startup, this is my third startup, and I have 5 babies, 2 beautiful daughters, and 3 startups. This is my 5th one, and it is born in 2016. After I exited Marchet, the first idea was to take a break, 6 months break, but 6th day at home, I realized that it's not possible to sit at home. And most importantly, my family's privacy was getting disturbed because I was at home asking for chai, pakoda at 4 o'clock.
Why not become a VC? Like you had
I
made
thought
money.
about that. So then Shashi Reddy, who is Applabs founder here, one of the great success story. So I thought of, me and Shashi thought of launching a $100 million fund. We had a couple of pitches. I became an accidental investor, invested in some 9 startups in Hyderabad.
Okay.
Couple of them are here. Prashant from Poppycon is here.
Yeah.
He's one of my first investment. He was the one who got the first check out of me as an investor. That side of the
Prashant,
table.
where are you?
Right. So, so I think then thought of fund, got some commitments of $20-30 million also. But then during that journey, I realized that I'm still a horse where people can bet. Then I betting on the horses. वो पैसा डालो, हर महीने में MIS call पे जाओ, board meeting में जाओ. I have not reached that stage yet. I still enjoy doing something
Building.
on ground. Build करते हैं फिर से. And then I said, अभी नहीं 2-3 startup और है. मतलब when I thought in 2015 कि this is not the end. VC बन के बैठने का time अभी आया नहीं है. So made some money during that exit. So financial was after 17 years saw some stability and then realized during that period कि every person has a different number, but you don't need a lot of money, frankly. I've been middle class background and seen worse days in life where बच्चे का fees नहीं भर पा रहे थे, तो you know value of money. मतलब when I bought the first BMW, I thought 100 times, why do I buy a 50 lakh rupees car? अरे यार 10 लाख की गाड़ी भी चलती है और मुझे किसी को दिखाना नहीं है. Unfortunately, I bought it. I have Maruti Celerio also. I use that to go to office. I enjoy that too. गाड़ी को लग जाएगा, tension ज्यादा आ जाता है. So that natural the way you're grown up doesn't change, right? And I realized that after say 7-8 crores, it's just a number in the bank. Really doesn't matter. It doesn't change. आज भी रोड पे पानी पूरी 10 रुपए का खाने में जो मजा आता है, वो आपको 5 स्टार में ताज में नहीं मजा आएगा, right? So that's how we were born. So then I dropped that idea investment. So I thought I was looking for kuch karna hai, third venture kuch karna. And then this time I was looking for a space which can have a larger impact and some real time problem. पहले e-commerce site बनाया, that was not a real problem. Today it might be pro inconvenience for people, but second SaaS था, software as a service. दोनों company में, in the first company I was 10 years ahead of the time. 2006-7 में e-commerce Flipkart वगैरह launch हुआ, 8 में. SaaS में I was 4 years ahead of the time. 2010 was the time. थोड़ा सीख गया, बाल सफेद हो गए तो सीख जाता है आदमी. So this time I wanted to do something which is more impactful, which has an impact also. I was looking for such opportunity, and somewhere that instinct. See, at the end of the day, she came back from US with the instinct. कुछ करना है. क्या करना है किसी को नहीं पता है. कुछ करना है. वो कीड़ा ही होता है. कीड़ा होता है entrepreneur. जितने भी लोग बैठे हैं यहाँ पे आए हैं, वो because वो कीड़ा है अंदर. So then I thought कि then somewhere that instinct felt that कि waste management में कुछ है. ये बहुत ही कुछ नहीं पता था. No data, no information. So then I made a call in 2016 that I want to do something in waste management with zero knowledge of that space, neither any data. कुछ reports हैं, फिकी का रिपोर्ट है, CII की रिपोर्ट है कि इंडिया 14 मिलियन मेट्रिक टन जनरेट करता है, ये वो जो भी है, दोज आर ऑल लाइक 50 घरों में सर्वे कर लिया, मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 1.4 बिलियन पीपल, 25 ड्राम एक आदमी जनरेट करता है. So we got some report. Not really. India generates much more, frankly. And it's very informal, very cash-driven economy, very big problem, and that's have a lot of impact on the climate. But we were not in that mode of philanthropy or something. You could social काम. I wanted to build a business, build a startup, which has a impact also. Byproduct was impact. So that somewhere we identified कि waste management में करेंगे, and in 2016 Recycle was formed. Again, it went through a journey. 2 years, I personally funded it. I said, team banaya, 35 people. We worked for 2 years. We went to rag pickers, kabadi walas, sab case pe, jo kar sakte. Because if you want to solve that problem, you need to know what is the problem. And then the kind of learnings we got during that 2 years, we realized that ये तो ocean है, ये तो महासागर है. ये SaaS, D2C, e-commerce, कुछ नहीं है. मतलब जो opportunity एक category का opportunity 500 billion, 300 billion, metal, plastic, क्या नहीं है. The consumption is increasing, so much of scrap is getting generated. Great learning for first 2 years, but we were not clear कि business क्या करना है. यहाँ पे कोई GST से काम ही नहीं करना चाहता, कोई पे नहीं करना चाहता, टैक्स पे नहीं करना चाहता, कैश पे करना चाहता है. और our intent was very clear that we want to build a scalable model which is more a ecosystem building. So that's where Recycle was born. Today, almost like 7 years now, we completed 7th anniversary. We're decently, after 2 years of learning, 3rd year we got some formula, and by then the things started changing. People started thinking about waste management, circular. तो हमने जब शुरू किया था तो कचरे का धंधा, वही same problem I faced at my house. My relatives क्या कर रहे हो, तो कचरे का कबाड़ी वाला बन गया हूँ, इंटरनेट का कबाड़ी वाला. क्या बताइए, कचरे का धंधा कर रहे हो. That is the only thing they know. So because, and it was a completely unseen, because most of the waste management companies work with government. Ramki है, Hyderabad का बहुत बड़ा company है. 90% of their revenue comes from government. Right. And no one does business, and our policy is very clear: zero business with government. We will not do commercial business. We will partner with them, but we will not do cash business with them. It really worked for us. Privately, हमने build किया पूरा. We went, spoke to those kabadi walas. वो बोले थे साहब क्यों कर रहे हो सब? जो पोलैरिटी बोले थे, वो अभी ये बोले कि साहब पैसा कमाया तो चैरिटी में लगाओ, इधर उड़ाओ मत. ऐसे भी सजेशन आए, मतलब हाँ, why are you wasting your money here? Time क्यों waste कर रहे हैं? सर कोशिश करेंगे. So now after, like, it's basically Recycle is a platform, and started as a pure trash consumer app for learning, used to use ZED. Hyderabad से कम 2-3 लाख लोगों ने डाउनलोड किया था. Every day we used to go to people's home, pick up purana trash, because we wanted to learn the space. That is, the first 2 years we wanted to have some product. That we call it as our MBA in waste management. 35 लोगों की team बना दी, and we committed 1.5 million, 0 to 1. By the end of 2 years, either we'll know there is opportunity or close karo, go back home.
But this was your own money?
My own money. Initially, I didn't go to the market to raise any capital. And luckily we had money, so I didn't want to risk it that time. But it was a great learning. We understood that it's ocean and what we are. And then the things changed. It evolved. Suddenly ESG became important. Suddenly sustainability became important. Circular economy, and all these words we were not knowing. First time I was in the right place at the right time. After 20 साल लगे उसको, 17 साल के बाद समझ में आया, बाल सफेद हुए कि हाँ ये सही जगह है. And then all this, it also evolved. Started with the consumer app, then converted into B2B. B2B convert किया, where the Accenture, Infosys used to sell their e-waste through our platform. COVID आ गया 6 महीने में, पूरा सब बंद ही हो गया ना, स्कूल कॉलेज सब बंद. फिर चेंज पिवट किया, then informal में घुसे. Then informal bulk aggregators, all these kabadi walas became seller and recyclers buyers. Yes, then sustainability का एक vertical बन गया. So then during this journey we started learning. We used to go to the client, उसको बोलते थे कि क्या कर रहे हो? This is what we are doing. You guys are enabling circular economy. Client बताता था. फिर हम वापस आते थे, इंटरनेट पे ढूंढते थे circular economy क्या है. अरे फिर हम circular economy enabler. तो line नीचे change. कोई बोला sustainability, you guys are enabling sustainability. So again, एक बच्चे को बोला रे study कर क्या है sustainability. So it was not planned you will be a sustainability enabler. Today, Recycle as a brand is considered as we are almost channelizing last year 1.5% of India's plastic.
Wow.
Got channelized through our platform. Huge numbers.
Amazing.
Thus, 8 lakh metric tons. 8 lakh metric ton, if you put like almost Jubilee Hills, Banjara Hills, up to Secunderabad will get covered, right? We did that scale of work, but frankly, that those things got evolved. Today, we work with 800 brands, including everyone, World Economic Forum. We got President's Award, all that. These 8 lakh metric tons, which was supposed to go to ocean or landfill, has gone to the right destination, got recycled, and got into the ecosystem back. So that is the impact which got created due to this. Luckily, then we raised capital, and this time we're lucky. This time we chose the investors. So
Good.
last time investors used to choose us.
Yeah.
So Mr. Ajay Parekh of Pidilite was the first investor, and all the investment happened on LinkedIn.
Wow.
No banker, nothing. They used to reach out to us. LinkedIn pe Ajay Parekh, who is the chairman of Pidilite, he sent me a message. You guys are doing some interesting job, and I liked him. So he became first investor. Then Circulate Capital, they were the other guys who are focusing on circularity. LinkedIn again, they put in some $2 million. The Morgan Stanley was the first large round of $22 million 2 years back. Was again on LinkedIn. They were tracking us for this thing. And then latest we got Ranjan Pai of Manipal. So that was inbound again. Almost all the investments were inbound. But space itself, what has happened here, it has become a big problem. And all the private equity guys have raised $1 billion, $5 billion net zero funds. पैसा तो रेस कर लिया, घोड़े किधर है?
डालेगा.
और वो घोड़ा भी 100 million वाला चाहिए. छोटे छोटे bets so they don't want to put. They wanted to put minimum $100 million check. घोड़े ही नहीं है. So we did almost every week 3-4 लोग आते हैं बात करने के लिए.
अच्छा हुआ VC नहीं बने.
आज नहीं वो तो that's the best decision I took. Today we are a 400 people team across India, only India operations. And the latest disruption which we feel that the biggest thing which is required is a behavioral change. See, the whole objective positioning of Recycle is bring behavioral change amongst every stakeholder in the society. And that one big large project which we are very close of launching is called deposit return system, which is going to change the whole perception of waste management in this country. We are launching it in the state of Goa. So next time in January, if you go to Goa, you will buy a beer, that will be 80 rupees. There will be deposit of 10 rupees on that. So you will pay 90 rupees.
Okay.
Consume beer, return the bottle, you get your 10 rupee back. This is a law which is passed by the government. All this technology, the machines, and first time I went आएंगे कल से आप कचरा बोतल फेंकोगे तो जेल में जाओगे. People might change the behavior. Read 10 rupees. I will be conscious because I have paid that 10 rupees. Every house will have a box, a cardboard box. मैगी कट होके आज जाता है डस्टबिन में. जैसे ही 2 रुपए का डिपॉजिट आएगा डस्टबिन में नहीं जाएगा, कट होके वहां जाएगा. महीने के एंड में काम वाली लेके जाएगी. न्यूज़पेपर हमने कभी नहीं फेंका. If you look at your behavior at home, we never read newspaper and put it in dustbin. It goes to a corner. महीने 4 महीने का इकट्ठा हो गया 8 रुपए किलो ही है 25 साल से, बट वो जाता उधर ही है. We don't throw it because our mind is trained for that. Same behavioral change we are bringing in plastic and other metals. So it's a large opportunity. Luckily at the right place, at the right time this time.
No, that's great. Congrats, Abhay, on pioneering something so different, and on your third journey. So I'm glad that you did not become a VC. And आपने बोला 2-3 startup बाकी है, तो I'm saying इसके बाद एक और, there's one more at least. So great, the journey continues. So Medula, coming back to your journey, and now we know your journey till now. The space is still very competitive. Obviously, there are 2-3 brands, I will not name them, but all of them are bleeding. I think you are one of the only profitable brands. I think Noise is the other one. I've just named them. But I think there's a lot of competitive pressure in this space because generally also D2C brands are struggling with scale, margins, profitability, fundraising, all of that. So where do you see, what is the next growth curve? Are you guys going international? What is in plans? I understand that you just set up your component manufacturing, so you're going deeper into
In the
manufacturing.
process. Yes.
But where do you see this going in the next 3, 4, 5 years? When are you doing your IPO? Can we expect an IPO anytime
5
soon?
years.
Yeah. So would love to know how you are seeing it now and what can we all expect?
So we are moving in few different directions, and we actually have few different opportunities right now. One, I could go into the market as an EMS player also. Actually, I can go into the market as an ODM, which nobody in India today is for electronics.
ODM is original design.
Yeah, like you actually design, develop the product and not just assemble it. Today, when India says we are manufacturing, we are only assembling products. Nobody other than maybe is manufacturing, because maybe every single design is made in-house, technology is developed, off-the-shelf technology is taken, but still that is taken and designed according to the product needs. Signature curves are set. The whole product design happens. If you take, to give an example, if you consider an Apple doesn't actually make the components. But why do we say iPhone is Apple's? Why don't we say iPhone is
The
Foxconn's?
design.
Apple designs it, right? The whole SOP is sent to Foxconn and Foxconn assembles it. So we don't see that, we don't take pride that, okay, we are also assembling the product. We take more pride in saying that we actually design and develop the product. That is the biggest USP of Mivi's products. Now, EMS is just EMS, not even ODMs. EMS are at an 80x, 120x multiple. If you take a Dixon, I think I don't remember correctly, but it's 100 plus x multiple. So that is one way we can position it. Another way is we are also getting a lot of, I mentioned before, a lot of requests to manufacture for international brands. A lot of domestic brands, including a lot of our competition, has reached out
Because I
saying,
guess they are also under pressure to make in India, right?
it's
That's a
not
mandate,
just
right?
about making in India. It is when Mivi makes in India, they know that we are actually putting the time and effort and developing the products, and our engineers can make better products because we make it for ourselves. When they're buying it from China and getting it assembled here, the assembly guys knows nothing but saying that, okay, it'll say lift this, put this here, then put it here. That's all they know. And they're the same problem which we tried and solved. They are not still getting that quality that they are supposed to, even after spending more. So we have that as an opportunity. International, again, we are in Nepal, we are in UAE,
okay.
Argentina.
This is
Discussions are
e-commerce or
e-com. There is a Nepal is both retail and we didn't source for opportunities. These are people that have reached out
distributors,
and
basically?
distributors and we have opened it wherever it made a little sense, and we felt that the distributor is strong, would love to do maybe there, but the opportunity is still huge. My thought is one day we should capture the US market, because if you see, at least I have never take consensus, but I generally, if you see, at least 30-40% of all the goods that we use in India, not just electronics, but any goods, your coffee, your handbags, your shoes, your clothes, are captured by the US companies. We take a lot of pressure on China, but it is more US companies that
Yeah, I think
capture
American companies are great at marketing and design and
softwares, all the Instagrams and everything. I really want maybe to one day make that mark in the US and start capturing the US economy. It's far away. They're nowhere close. I'm not going to say it's going to happen in the next 5 years. We look at it as 10, 15 years, but that is the direction we want to move and say, why can't we take that share? Because we can make products much cheaper. They are dependent on other countries to make the products, but we still have to, if I want to compete with an Apple, it's an again 10-year journey from today. I can't compete today, and I'm very clear about that, but that is the direction. So the opportunities are there, different directions that we have opportunities, but right now what we are doing is, again, there is no component manufacturing in India. So we've gotten a specs approved. It's a central government approval, which handful of projects only in India got approved. We're investing 200 crores in phases to build our second facility, where 80% of the components that these products use, we will manufacture at our own facility.
Okay.
Because today we were not a component manufacturer. We went to multiple component manufacturers of other categories because there was nobody for electronics, and tried to get them to manufacture for us. But somehow didn't happen. So we only want to take that step, and that will give us another advantage now once I start component manufacturing. And I know for sure that the government in 2-3 years will also start imposing taxes on components, and nobody is taking that step today. Now I can sell it to every single so-called manufacturer in India, Dixon or Foxconn, you name it. There is no components being done in India, and maybe will be the only factory. So, a few different directions that are open for us, but regardless of all this, we still want to stick to that core principle. We always come back to that core principle. Are we making great quality electronics at affordable price? These are opportunities, additional opportunities that we have. So with all this, I believe a 5-year IPO is what we are looking at. If God blesses, it will happen still being bootstrapped. But we might also.
That would be amazing, right?
Yes.
That would be a great achievement.
Yes.
And like we just discussed, entrepreneurship is about perseverance. तो 5 में नहीं होगा तो 6 में होगा, but होना ही है.
Yes,
So I
correct.
think that's amazing, and I really love the vision of someday capturing the US market. I think that will be the last frontier, I would say,
Yes.
right? But I think it's very much doable. Why not? I mean, you're right. I mean, they're great at maybe packaging and marketing. Manufacturing happens somewhere else, and eventually, if you are building that capability and you're building a brand, so why not? I think you have a full stack approach. So would love to see a brand from India take over the US market in this category, because all the brands in this category are global. Samsung, I think, is an exception, right? Because
Yes.
obviously it comes out of South Korea, and I think Xiaomi from China, obviously from a cost
Yes.
point of view. I think these are two exceptions, but otherwise Bose and all of them are American brands,
Correct.
right? And I think it's also a great thing. Your category, Bose has invested in noise, right? So I think that's a great sign, right? That a company like that is coming and investing in a brand from India, right? So definitely India has potential.
You've also asked me one more question about thin margins.
Yeah.
The reason, we've discussed before, the reason VV is, to my knowledge, the only profitable company right now in this
Right,
category
right.
is because, of all the efforts we've put, like I said, at least 25% of my product is cheaper.
You mentioned, yeah.
It's the same overheads, right? I or anybody else, my competition,
The same
will have
marketing, the same
overhead.
distribution.
Exactly. Both of us have to pay the same amount of price to the wholesaler, to the distributor, to Amazons, to Flipkarts of the world. Same amount of money we have to put on Google or Facebook. Me able to reduce 25% of my product cost is where.
That's a huge strategic advantage, right?
Yes.
That's your margin, basically.
Correct.
Amazing. So guys, I'll just open this up for some Q&A. So if any one of you have any questions, this is the right time. Please go ahead and shoot them.
Hello guys. I met both of you and you know what my product is. We are in the Good Binge. Yeah. Me and my wife Saiti, we have started the brand called the Good Binge. We are into the snack manufacturing sector. It's basically a clean label food products. We started this when we realized that kids are getting used to the sugar treats a lot, and all the food products that are available in the market are cheap and they are not of a good quality. And it's actually affecting the way kids are growing up. And I didn't want my kid to be in that space. I want to be proud of what they're eating, what I make them feed. So that's why we started this company. So my question to you is the same, what Mr. Pandey has said, behavioral change. So I'll start this point with a small example. The cookie that I make, it's made with almond flour. And the first entry piece that I have is $60. It's a 30-gram cookie for $60. And when you compare that with the products that we have in the market, with $60, I will get 2 big biscuit packets. And here I'm having to buy just one. But they don't see the nutrition value in that. The nutrition that comes in that 2 biscuit packets you get in my 1 cookie. So what they see is the quantity and not the value in it. ये अभी खत्म हो जाता है. If I eat that, I can eat like 1 or 2 days. They're not looking at the nutrition and the effect of that on the body. So here I'm having to fight the mentality of the consumer. And the second way I'll put the consumer behavior is, if I go to a coffee store, The minimum coffee, the minimum amount I have to put for a coffee is like what, 40, 60 at least. If I go to a basic store, if I go to a high-end store, I have to pay 200, 250 bucks. And what is the cost of that coffee all put together? I'm thinking it will not be in the margins of 20 bucks also. For the 20 bucks, the people are ready to pay 10x of the value. And for the product which is costing around 20 bucks for me, they're not even ready to pay 3 times the value, which gets
Sharon,
nutrition
why?
as well.
Why?
Mentality, it's an indulgence. Coffee is an indulgence for them. It's not like a daily thing that they make it in-house and have it.
No.
But here, the cookie, what they have to spend, I give my cookie, if I have to spend it on a daily for my kid, they multiply into 30, if my kids eat it, it comes into thousands of rupees. So now I do have to spend so much on the food. They don't see value of health, nutrition right now, many people. But when it comes to their own coffee, they'll say, I don't go and drink coffee outside daily. I don't spend 200 bucks on a coffee, but at the same time, if I had to spend something on a daily, I budget it down. So that's the space we are in, and I'm finding it very difficult to break that.
I have a few things to say. If I just open a coffee shop here, like I'll just put a dabba coffee, this one, and I'll say 300 rupees for coffee. How many people do you think will come and buy?
I would say 10 or 5.
No,
maybe.
I don't think so.
Not
Like
even one?
anybody who's desperate and say, I need that coffee kick, other than that, nobody will come and buy. You know,
Yeah.
Lebanon charges 1,000 rupees plus for their brownies and
Okay.
cookies.
Yeah.
You make it at home, it will mostly properly cost you 200, but still people are buying. I would say that don't try to reach out to everybody. Your product is a niche product. You have to target that luxury, health conscious moms that are willing to first spend. And then you have to repackage. I've seen the packaging. Your packaging has to tell a story. It has to look luxurious. If you are giving me 1,000 rupee worth product, but the packaging looks like it's 30 rupees, I will not spend on it. You have to impress me with packaging. Then I've seen your social media also. I'm sorry,
Sahiti.
I hope it is. No, Zahiti, I remember. I'm sorry, I'm directly making points. I hope it's
No
okay,
problem.
right?
It's constructive is always welcome.
So your social media is not telling, your product is not like mine, where it's a mass product. You're comparing it to a mass cookie brand, right? You're saying a mass cookie brand sells it at 10 rupees. You're not fighting with them. You should build a story. You know, Slurp Farm. I pay a lot of premium on Slurp Farm because it has clearly told me that health for your kids. They've marketed that. They continuously, be it via collaborations, be it via videos, they've continuously put that story out that, guys, this, and then you will say, this is my niche. Only target to them. Don't expect everybody buying a good day to buy you. Even if it is me, I'll probably buy only 5 cookies a month. You should be okay with that. I'll not go to Lebanon every day. I'll probably go once in 6 months, but that base is big enough. You have to find that base. And I would say if it is, you're charging 60 rupees today, charge 120. Don't charge 60 because you're saying I've calculated my cost. I kept a thin margin because your niche is small. Thin margins only work for categories that have a mass market. When you are not a mass product, your margins should be way higher because your customer base is small and you have to spend a lot to figure out that customer base.
So if you're advising me to tell about the story and find the right kind of products, customers, my next question is, should I be focusing on changing the mindset of the people by explaining
No.
what it is, what the
No.
product is,
No.
why do you need it? No.
You cannot change the mindset of the people. If I'm somebody that is frugal on, let's say, coffee, I will never step into a Starbucks. You cannot change my mindset. You have to find the person that is okay with stepping into a Starbucks. And then that is the Starbucks customer. And then that customer, they try to bring them back repeatedly. They'll probably be giving them rewards, royalty, some offers. That is, you find the customer, you make them your repeat customer. But you cannot, with the investments, to change customer behavior takes a lot of investment, or like he said, you have to punish them.
Yeah.
I don't think you guys can punish.
Yeah, the whole truth is trying to do that, right? So the chocolate space, what they did. They're trying to change the customers' behavior to make them think the way the products are made and how you should see the products are. Yeah, it's a premium. Correct. Thank you.
Would you like to add something? I think this is like a category creation, right? So I think patience will be required. You know, like Abhay, you are maybe 5, 10 years ahead of the curve. So you have to either be at the right time or get lucky or keep patient, right? Change the market. Yeah, I think it's very difficult, right? As yeah, maybe yeah, maybe pivot. Pivot is the right word. Pivot is the right word, right? So great, guys. Any other questions you have? Please go ahead.
I think this is the second time I'm meeting you. As you told, I agree with your point. See, if I'm a coffee lover, for me, if the coffee is 300 or 200, I don't mind. Because for me, that coffee is need and I'll buy. As you told, it might be Starbucks or at a cafe. So, how can we really identify people who can really customize, like they have suggested? So, not your target people, yeah. So like just tell me we can say like kind of mapping how we can teach people like cookies, anything business, ma'am, that want to or like they want to move from a small scale to large scale industry, like manufacturing. It would be food or anything, like they just started now, or
Okay, two
people.
different things.
Yeah.
Manufacturing is different, brand is different. Whether you manufacture or not is to an extent irrelevant to the customer.
Okay.
You manufacture for your own needs.
Yeah.
You know, people say make in India is maybe his USP. It is not. I never tell people buy my product because I'm making it in India. I wanted to make a good quality product, which I was not able to do it in China. That's why I'm making it in India. As a customer, I don't expect you to care. All I expect you to care is I'm making good quality product, so you have to buy me. Not because I'm making it in India. You know, that sentiment will only work once. How many brands will you support because they're making in India?
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's not about, forget about manufacturing. How do you find the TG? Through different ways. Do you know this brand, Fizzy Goblet? Shoes.
Shoes, yeah.
She's wearing one. So premium, they charge around 5,000-6,000 rupees per brand. Their advertisement is not too high. What they've done is a lot of collaborations with celebrity. Any celebrity you see, they have Fizzy Goblet on. But their quality is also very premium. So you do it through different ways. Starbucks again doesn't collab, right?
That's true, ma'am.
But they have stores that scream luxury. You, when you're stepping into a Starbucks, you feel like, oh, even for that half an hour, you just feel like I'm spending money, right? Like you just get that kick. I'm spending money. You like that coffee or not is a different story. Probably we can make it at home. You just want to feel like I also took my laptop and went to Starbucks.
That's true.
Right? So different ways of how you can find that niche. It's not only one. There is only one right answer to it. Depending on the category and whatever you can afford. Like that's you first. First and foremost thing is your margin should be way higher. No doubt about it, because you will spending and finding that customer is very hard versus finding a mass customer. Even on ads, you slowly start getting people. You first started with probably only target audience that are using iPhones. Okay, that will tell you because targeting on Facebook, Google, you can target the type of device people are using. You already know this is a decently premium customer, and your ROI on the customer has to keep on increasing.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
That's it, guys. I think we are way over time, but I hope these guys are there for you guys to meet and have if you have any questions further. But again, thanks a lot, Abhay and Midula, for sharing so much of your experience and your candid journey. And I think there's lots more insights out here. We would love to maybe catch up with you sometime more and go through more of
Thanks,
your journey.
Abhishek. You
But thanks a
know.
lot, Midula and Abhay, and thanks a lot to all of you for listening in. Thanks a lot, guys. We have our goodie bags, guys. So this is a small goodie bag from our community brands. Thank you. So we need one more. This is a smaller one. You'll have to come to the Bangalore Summit. You'll have to come to the Bangalore Summit. Yeah. That's for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. So, guys, we'll move on to our next session. So, like I mentioned, we have two panels coming up. So, we'll move to the first panel. I would like to invite Taran from Neemans, Avanish, JP Pearls, Ravi. Ravi, are you here from Skippy? Gopal, Salora, and Parikshit. So, guys, if you can come forward. You're merging it. Okay. Okay, guys, good news. We are merging both the panels to one. So, can you tell us who all are there? Okay, so we have just one panel. So, guys, if you can come forward, Taran, you're there. And our moderator for this is Avinash, right? We'll need one more chair, guys. Ajo, Parikshit, come on. Taran. Hi, Ravi. You're right on time. Huh? Gopal, hi. Avinash, right? Avinash.
Manic.
So our topic is from startup to scale up, challenge and opportunities in building digital native brands. So we'll have all of these people talk about, discuss this topic. And I would like to invite Ravi Ajo. So guys, please welcome our panelists. Whom do we have missing here? Taran. And our moderator. Avanish. Is he there? Mrityunjay, if you can call him. Hi Avnish, welcome. Yeah, this is your session. You are the moderator, so we were looking for you. So this is the mic for you guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I'm sorry, this is the first time that I'm moderating a panel, so I'm just learning as I go by as to how to moderate a panel. And as you all guys know, we have got an amazing panel here from a very diversified portfolio of startups. We have got Taran from Neemans, who built an amazing footwear brand on the sustainability stuff. We have got Ravi, who is from Skippy, as we know, one of the most on the Shark Tank and has created the frozen industry on a different level altogether. We have got Gopal from Solas, who has built an amazing kitchenware and utensil front. And we have got Parikshit from Grid Logic, an amazing tech company. I think, and right on the session we are working on is from startup to scale up. And most of them here have built the company to a great extent. And I'll just have a few questions that we can start with. This is to all of you, and anybody can answer this first one. What are the key factors that differentiate any company from a startup to scale up? And what are the biggest challenges digital native brands face when they try to scale up? And how do you think you can overcome them? Anybody can take it up. And
Hey everyone, just do a quick intro when we talk. So this is Gopal, and I'm the founder of Solara Home. We are into drinkware, cookware, and then small appliances. So we're based out of Hyderabad. So good to see all of the community here. This is my first community event in Hyderabad. So good to see a lot of discussion and good to see a lot of great brands coming out of Hyderabad as well. And to your question, how do we scale digitally native brands? I think part of it differs from category to category. So we're into kitchen. Like in our category, the challenge is how do you convince a customer from like the incumbents of, like, in our category, Philips, Prestige, you have these players, right? And we are majorly into drinkware. You have Cellos of the world, Miltons of the world. So how do we differentiate versus them? So I think it goes back to, again, customer insight. So one customer insight that I found in drinkware category is customers these days are looking for more like healthier versions of drinkware, like BPA free, Triton, and then more designs as well. So for example, I was in US for more than a decade. So the insight, and I used to work at Amazon in kitchen. So the insight that I had at the time was customers want variety of drinkware, not just your plain old like black color Milton bottle, right? So I had that insight. So I thought, why doesn't it work in India? So I launched with that. So the first few products that we launched, it did well, and from there, I think there we kind of got a right to win with the product differentiation, and then the challenge that comes after is, like, how do you maintain that success and try to replicate in other categories? So we started with drinkware, and now we are doing cookware and small kitchen appliance as well.
Hi, everybody. This is Taran Chabra. I run a footwear brand called Neiman's. Now, the right to win, according to me, would be product differentiation, product innovation, and going after a very large market and having the right strategy to deep dive in terms of the channel of acquisition would be the 4 stepping stones for launch to scale, right? I think the first year for us was all about cracking the product, cracking the story, cracking the content strategy. And as we saw recognition coming in along the product lines, we started scaling categories, price points, channels, going after an omni-channel presence. Now we run one of the largest .com sustainable businesses in the country. Along with it, we've garnered into 15 stores today and looking at about 15 more stores in the next 12 months. So first it was about connecting with the consumer, building awareness, and as the awareness came in, we started looking towards scale and then launching different channels, right? So like Gopal said, it's different for different brands, it's different for different categories. So this is how we looked at taking Neiman's from 0 to 1. Thank you.
Hi guys, Ravi Kabra here. I'm from Skippy, Skippy Ice Pops. We are an ice popsicle brand, probably the first one in India. I am actually learning from these guys as we speak today, because we are more of an offline brand, and now we started to focus a lot more on the D2C or the online front of our businesses. But thankfully, in terms of our product, we gained momentum right immediately after Shark Tank. And ours is a very unique category, even though we didn't invent the category, but we redesigned and relaunched the entire category in India. And after that, we realized that people started to love the product and the category because of nostalgia connected with it. The most important part was that we had to bring the awareness into the audience that, you know, this category does exist. And obviously, a lot of efforts went into making people understand and realize what was the value proposition that the brand was offering. And simple 4 P's of marketing: the price, position, product, and the promotions. All these things worked well. As we speak today, we are at the stage where we realize that I personally have undermined the value of being online in every aspect. And this year, our brand is actually trying to be much more than what we are in the online front. But it's a space where somebody, being an omni-channel brand, more of an offline front, I did realize that wherever my physical presence or my distribution level is unavailable, our online has to be much more significant and stronger. And that's the reason why, even though I was called in as a panelist, I rather came in here to learn from these experts. So I'll also grab a few tips here and there. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Parikshit. I am founder of GridLogic. We are a real money technology company. That means that somebody wants to launch an online casino, online poker, online rummy, they actually come to us. and we provide technology to them. We've been doing this for 15 years. All around the world, we have around 35 clients, a scaled up brand. And the challenges we went through staying here in India is we were a decent brand until the 1st of October when Finance Minister came and said, now these guys will be taxed 28%. And basically, we were still alive in the first week of October. And they came back and said, oh, you've been operating for 10 years. Now you're taxed 300 crores for the retrospective. I'm thankful to God that we are still alive and hopefully we'll make it. But also that every challenge we've had basically has shown us a door. So we moved from a B2B provider to B2C. We always had a small brand called tajrummy.com, which was operating in India. It was around that 50-60 crore mark, and we were very happy being profitable, and we were selling technology all around the world. For most of you who don't know, Hyderabad is a gambling tech capital. That means most of the casinos actually operated in the world. Yeah, most of the casinos that are operated in the world are actually done by Hyderabad techies. 80% is here and 20% is in Bangalore. I am biased towards Hyderabad because I'm a Hyderabadi. So from October to this March, we've had turbulent times, and these challenges were pressure from the government, pressure from, so I've never stepped into a court. So my law team went in, actually put me on High Court panel and put me on Supreme Court panel. So I've seen all these challenges, and we've grown 10x from there. And now we are like the B2C company. And that's why I've been called here is what I'm actually assuming. So I have a lot to tell, but this is a short introduction.
Lovely, lovely, guys. And just ask Parikshit, interesting to know when you said that Hyderabad is the gambling capital. So is it that gambling capital in terms of companies building the tech, or in terms of people playing over here?
So it's both. Gambling technology, basically, most of the gambling companies have their technology centers here in India. Coming to that, Telangana and Andhra, basically, they drink a lot and also they actually gamble a lot. So the high lifetime value is from these Telugu states. And both the states are banned, by the way. So KCR banned it, and there was an ordinance which came, and the same ordinance which all the spelling mistakes was implemented in Andhra also. So they were very good friends. Now both are out. We hope that we actually win and have like a protected gambling environment in Hyderabad and Andhra.
Lovely. Just to add to that, as you said, you moved from B2B to D2C client right now and have grown 10x since then. So what, as this is gambling is not that open, you cannot promote it openly if I'm not sure the government restricts the promotion and the marketing of that. So what ways and what other marketing tools have you adopted to on the e-commerce platforms to grow your 10x in the D2C segment?
So there's a fundamental difference between gambling and basically gaming. Game of skill, game of chance, both are two aspects. We fall in the game of skill, where basically cards are dealt to you in rummy and poker, and you have you have to use your skill to actually win it. So we fall in that game of skill category. So game of skill category has been actually legal since 1953. They had like Supreme Court judgment. All the clubs in Hyderabad, Andhra, basically all the powerful people who play in these clubs come under that legal game of skill category. A game of chance is basically you don't know, you're playing heads and tails and you're actually losing 50 lakhs, 1 crore, whatever that stuff. That's not legal. But in game of chance, there's lottery, there's horse racing, and few other games that are there which are actually provided with a license, and only 6 companies have that license. So because we fall under that game of skill category, Google, Facebook, Apple, everybody is open to take money from us, and investors are giving money, and we are actually spending with them, and hence the marketing is simple for us.
Taran, just a question for you. As you know, Neiman's is a brand built on sustainability. And being a brand on sustainability, how easy or difficult was it to scale that brand in the D2C segment? Was it expensive, or what challenges you faced to scale a sustainable brand in footwear segment on the D2C segment, and how long did it take you?
So we started in the year 2018, right at the end of the year, around December, right? So sustainability as a phenomena has been around in India for generations, right? But it's not known from a purchase perspective. Today, we don't go out shopping and looking for a sustainable product. And there was nobody in India who was talking about sustainable products before we did. So it was a complete clean slate. The category didn't exist, the motivation didn't exist, the knowledge didn't exist, the awareness didn't exist. So we started with why the product, why the brand, versus why the consumer should buy us. So we started talking about our materials, our differentiation, and we created USPs that didn't exist back in the footwear space. So it's been a very expensive ride to begin with. Because we built a complete category that didn't exist. But the sweet recognition is that consumers, when they see something which is valuable, which is innovative, which is differentiated, then it creates a mental recall. And when you're able to garner some kind of mental recall in a consumer's mind, then you start becoming more relevant. So brand building, I say this to my team, creating brands is like raising kids, right? I'm 39 today, but my dad is still going to think about me as if I'm 5 or 7. So brands take decades and generations to be built, right? So we're still building, we are still creating recognition, we are still creating awareness. But consumers have started noticing us. They've seen us, been around. We've sold to over 20 lakh customers in a very short period of time. So it's heartening to see people take attention and shop from an Indian brand versus Western brand when there is so much of brand love for Nikes and Adidas of the world. We came into a space selling products at a very expensive price point. From then onwards, to make sustainability very, very affordable has been a journey, but I think we've done pretty well to get there.
Lovely, great. Gopal, just to add on to that, you're competing in a market which has got dominant bigger brands already in there, and you currently, I think, working on a segment where you have also incorporated some kind of tech into your products. So what strategies are you currently using to scale them on the D2C segment? What are the digital marketing initiatives that is differentiating you, where people are looking forward to you and not to the bigger brands?
Yeah, I think my perspective is, unless, I mean, most of the brands, unless you have a lot of funding, you have limited capital to play with. So what I suggest is maybe pick a channel where you have some inherent advantage. Like, for example, for us, because I was at Amazon, I kind of knew the Amazon ecosystem. So we started the brand on Amazon, we scaled it to almost like 2 crores just on Amazon, and then we started going into other channels. So again, the answer might be different for someone. If someone has digital marketing background, Shopify might be a great one. So Neiman's, I always look at them like how the brand story, their Instagram is awesome. Like I think every founder has inherent strength. Probably first start with there and then diversify. Once you have a team, then you can build your expertise in other categories. So I would suggest doing that. Start with somewhere and then slowly go into other areas.
You mean to say work on your strength currently and then scale to the other facets as such?
I think, focus on the strength and using your strength, see if there is product market fit before like diversifying too much. So once you have product market fit in one channel, then at least in e-commerce, you will find product market fit in other channels as well. So that way you don't spread your capital too thin and you will have limited team size initially. So you can have the team focus on like small one channel and then take it from there.
Let me just to ask you, you're in a industry which has very short shelf life from frozen desert industry. So, and you started on a retail segment offline first, and how are you managing the supply chain and then moving from this to D2C? How challenging was it, and how are you managing supply chain on the D2C segment right now?
Yeah, just to answer that very simply, we are in a frozen segment, but we do not serve frozen. Right? As a consumer, you will have to take the ice popsicle. So we manufacture, distribute, and retail in an ambient temperature and a liquid format itself. As a customer, you will have to buy ice popsicle, take it home, and freeze it. And I can clearly understand you're not yet my customer, so I'll try and pitch to you. And so that's how we solve the supply chain in India. Otherwise, doing a cold storage and stuff would be very difficult. And this question keeps getting asked to me by a lot of investors. Why are you not doing frozen? And I keep telling them only one thing. We are in 18,000 outlets today. Imagine if I had to buy a 10,000 rupees fridge for each retailer, I'll be raising a 20 crore round only to buy freezers. So that's the way I think we have cracked that part, but it's always been challenging, yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, I'm not a customer still, but I'm surely going to be today itself. I did have ice pop when I was quite young in the school times, just outside of school. But sure, I'll have it now, and I think I get a point. This one is just to anybody in the panel as to, while scaling up from a startup, when we start our business, we have some core values and fundamentals that we work on to. And how easy or how difficult is it to maintain that core value during the entire journey? And I mean, for example, like sustainability was your core value when you started. So how to still maintain that and to keep that up till you scale up and even further go up? Is it easier, people, or you tend to change your entire values in the due course?
No, so we've not changed our values per se. We've enhanced our values and we've stayed consistent since we've launched. Now, a few pillars for us is product differentiation, innovation, sustainability, ownership, cross collaboration, right? And given our team the confidence to fail is a few values that we stand upon. Now, from a sustainability, from an ownership perspective, it's been quite smooth. But as you scale cross collaboration, right, the ability to stay true to every team starts becoming a little challenging, because as you grow over 100, 150 people, then the story starts getting diluted. When I'm saying it to 20 people, but I have functional leaders, I have business leaders. When I speak to them, then it's their ability to translate that journey to their teams. That becomes a challenge, and we've seen that at times happening. But with better training, with better nurturing amongst the mid-level and senior level, we've seen that to be pretty smoother over the years.
Anybody else on that matter of keeping the core values?
So we were a tech company earlier and we are a tech company now also, though our challenge, we moved to our B2C. We've kept our life very simple. Innovation, security and automation were the three pillars that we would operate on. So anybody who joined, basically we were measuring on how much is he actually contributing to product innovation, security, because we are like a bank and then a gaming app, right? So security is must needed. So there are many frauds going on in the system, which you may not know, you will not be aware of it until it comes into few lakhs and crores. So there's security which was needed, and automation basically to actually reduce the number of people who are actually in the process and reduce that process dependency on people. So we said, okay, to do all these three things, we need to have 4 big bets or 6 big bets as a company. Now from top to bottom, everybody is working on those big bets. Like one of the big bets is being a bug-free product. So a CTO is actually working towards that, planning, basically doing their face work and all that stuff. A developer is working towards clearing his tickets and all that. That's one example. So we've kept that 4 or 6. This year we've kept 6 because we become a B2C company. But earlier, for the last 4, 5, 10 years, there were only 4 big bets. Now that we've actually become a B2C company a little bit, we have about 8 to 10 KPIs that we've actually given for all the teams. And we only told them one thing, like there's marketing, there's operations, there's like a lot of other departments which are there. We said, okay, these are the 10 KPIs that your department needs to work on, and you improve it by 1% every day. 1% is not like 1%, 1%. 15% of 1% is like 0.15%. Every day you keep moving and you give them like 3-4 people based on how much margins you make from that team. And basically end of the year, you will have a significant change in revenue and profit, and all the other metrics will actually improve. So we've kept that constant, 4 to 6 big bets, and basically give KPIs to the team and monitor them, and their rewards and everything are based on how they're moving the KPIs.
So just again, this one all to 4 of you. We have 2 of you who had started, like you started business online and then went to retail. We have one who started from retail and then went to online, and you currently into online. So will you eventually also move toward getting into retail, or how important is it for a brand to move from online to physical store and physical to online. So is it a transition phase, or is eventually a brand have to move to wider audience, have to transition that? Or how do you think we'll take it on that?
I mean, I'll let Taran confirm it, but we didn't go offline yet, but I talked to a lot of founders who went offline. So all of them told that offline is like completely different ball of game, really hard. It's like completely different. I mean, your product is the same, but the business model is different. So at least like for us, we want to double from where we are and then look at offline. So I think at least we feel that within our category there is a lot of scope in e-commerce, and actually now quick commerce is scaling. Like 6 months back, 9 months back, we didn't have quick commerce, and now it's already 20% of our business. So I think in the next 1 year, I won't be surprised if it's like 40-50% of our business. So currently, we just want to focus on quick commerce, e-commerce, and then maybe next year we'll look at offline. So Blinkit, Zepto, Instamart, Swiggy, Instamart. Yeah.
Ravi, as you also moved from your offline to online, right? So what made you this transition, and how important this transition was?
See, firstly, just a thought to Gopal to think about it is offline customers are more loyal. I mean, I always say this to people that nobody's going to drive 5 kilometers just to get a 20 rupee discount. So you are going to go down your building, whatever is the nearest general store, that is where you're going to buy. So offline customers are very loyal, and that's why the CAC is always going to be lower. But the challenge is the distribution cost is too high. So somebody who can crack a good distribution number will always make a sustainable business in an offline industry. When it comes to online, the reason why I had to go online is firstly, I keep meeting such smart founders who are making hundreds and crores of business online. And I'm like, why am I the guy who's not even thinking about it? So this year I said, okay, at least 50% of my revenue should come online. And I started to focus on that. And I immediately saw a jump in my revenues the first month itself. And then I have started to understand that, okay, now online is a place where probably where my distribution level is not available, I will have my presence through online medium. And that has actually worked well for us. And we are not the Parlejis of India, which will have our product everywhere, every store. We are in selective outlets, and we have miles to go in the offline segment also. Until then, the online is giving a great balance to us. But especially in our category, in the F&B space, we hardly make money in the F&B space, being online only, because it's more like a brand awareness for us. But offline is where, like I said, the CAC is too less. So we keep making profitability in the offline front. So I think it's a good way to balance of both. I'm sure in a lot of categories which Taran is doing or Gopal is doing, online might be making a lot of money for them. But in our case, because we are an F&B brand, it's quite difficult and too tight. Yeah.
Taran, what's your take on this?
Yes, I think it completely depends upon the category that you're in, the product that you're selling, and the market that you're going after, plus the kind of AOV that you have. If you're selling a very high price market or a very high price product, I know people who do 20-25% EBITDA just by selling online. It completely depends at what scale you want to get to by being online, right? The first couple of crores are great by being just online. But as you start looking at certain channels for extreme scale, then they start becoming super expensive. Now, just by just talking about our category, footwear, just 20% of buying happens online. In spite of Amazon, Flipkart doing 7,000 crores, Amazon doing 1,500 crores is just 20%. Right? So that means other 60 to 70 odd percent is going offline. So to build a profitable business, you got to be where consumer is. And footwear, there's a lot of different dynamics that come in, right? You want to try the product, you want to sit down, it's a family activity, right? People come in and buy for festive. And we are very finicky about the product that you wear. And the trust is a major factor. So we didn't do it in the first year or in the second year. The reason is, why would people walk into a store? They don't know you. So why would they do it? We did it in the fourth year when there was some brand awareness, there was some brand trust. And now we are doubling down offline because we know it's a profitable channel of acquisition. along with all the retail overheads. If it's done right, then it can be scaled at very decent level.
Lovely. I won't take much of time. Any questions that anybody has on the audience to ask to the panel? Be great.
I have two questions. One is when you talk about online and offline, when you're not sure about which channel to start first, I noted one thing that you said. You figure out a channel, stick to it, see if it works out, and then move to the other channel. So this actually adds up to a lot of investment. So for companies which are not big on capital, starting capital, what would your suggestion be in terms of finding out which channels to explore? So we are in the food market. So yeah, food.
Yeah, I mean, I think once you have the product, probably e-commerce channels are not too expensive to launch. I mean, if you're talking about offline, then it's a different story. You need to have on the food employees, right? But e-commerce, you can list it pretty inexpensively, test it, and even ads you pay as you sell. So you can spend. You can just start with very less capital, see how your product is scaling, and then as you're getting more, as you're getting sales, then you can spend more on ads. Right. So then e-commerce, at least the good thing is you'll get reviews immediately. So you'll know how your product is working out. You'll get a lot of good product feedback. So, I mean, unless you have like inherent strength in offline, I would always suggest, at least in the current landscape, start with online. Even in online, Amazon is like the easiest of all the channels. So it's completely hands off the wheel. You can do it on your own. Yeah, I would suggest listing on Amazon, find out the product market fit, and then go into other channels.
Basically, if you're in the food market, basically you would have competitors. I'm just giving you from a business point of view. Whatever your competitor is doing, just be beside them for some time. You'll actually on 10 channels, like for example, somebody's on Ratnadeep, somebody's on Vijeta, you'll actually there. You know that 10% of their sale is coming to you. In some categories, in some channels, 25% may come, double down on that. That's what we have done. We went to PhonePe, we went to Paytm, we went to all the apps in the world. And we said, okay, these are all the testing channels, testing budget. 50 lakhs is our testing budget. So we'll put 50 lakhs in all these budgets. If it is working out, we move them to performance. And once they move to performance, if they're actually hitting that right ROI that we're getting 25% back in month 1, month 2, and month 3, then that means we're actually moving them to scaling. And then you actually scale unlimited. That's what we've done online.
And on the second part, we are not there yet. It's just to get an idea. So you guys, since the journey has started, I'm sure you guys must have got some offers about takeovers or huge investments where your share would be lower and the investor share would be higher. So what was your thought process when you might have got big offers, either for a complete takeover or for a major stake buyout?
Okay, I'll go first before the run. So I'm going through that. I have 9 offers on the table right now because basically we are in that phase where we'll actually scale. And also we have a chance to go public on our own. So basically what I have done is I have been a founder which said, I will not dilute. I will not leave this industry. I will retire. Those are the basically things that I told myself very early on. So whoever came in, all the investors, we said, I'm not diluting. I'm not part of that round. You can do secondary on your own. You can give us primary capital in the form of debt, which converts when I go to IPO or basically I do an exit event. That's the first thing I told myself. I will not dilute. The second thing is basically you have to be that gorilla in the zoo, which will actually shake people and show that you're coming out and you'll eat all of them. That's when you'll get a better offer. The minute you get an offer, you're actually saying, okay, I want to explore this opportunity. Don't do that. Bring professionals like maybe big 4 companies, EY, Deloitte, PwC, whoever it is. They'll start talking in their own language very slowly. You'll get the deal slowly. You'll not crack the deal in the first month. You'll crack it in the 6th month. But all these experts are actually applying mind on behalf of you to make your deal successful. That's the second point. Now, how much money beyond 20-25 crores? I don't think money has value. If you have $5 million in your bank account and Taran has 50 million in his bank account, we'll still actually go in an Indigo from here to there, but we'll not fly private. Basically, we come from that background, right? So it depends on how much you want, what is that you'd like to do. In my scenario, if I make 100 million, I don't know what to do with that 100 million. I'm not. Doesn't work. G700 is like 150. So even if you want to make that kind of money, you need to have a theory behind how much money you want to make, what is that you'd like to do. Not like you want to go do philanthropy, you can't do it. It's very tough. It's harder than basically running a business. So if you have that money, okay, I will make 150 million from this exit, work towards that goal, get to that number, and just say bye to that deal.
So I think he nailed down a lot of points, right? But in my experience, deals should happen only when you're in a position of strength. When you're in a position of strength, then you call the shots, you raise the money at the right valuation, at the right dilution, and so on. But there's no right or wrong answer to this, right? As people, when you start, you want to hold on to everything that you've built. But when you want to scale, business requires a certain amount of capital. And with scale, there is risk. So how much of your own money would you dilute when you have everything already in, right? So at certain stage of the business, certain brands require a lot of capital. Now we've spent a lot of money in terms of brand awareness, in terms of proving people that we exist. And we could have done this in 25, 30 years by just going extremely slow. But the choice that I took was build in 8 years or 10 years what people have built in 50 years. Now it comes with its own advantages and disadvantages, but that suits my personality. So it completely depends on what you are as a founder, whether you are aggressive, whether you want to take it slow, whether you're okay with people telling you at times what to do. And if you are controlling the steering wheel, then it's fine, right?
Avnish, this is primarily for you. Okay. So, as in when you scale up, right, be it offline, be it online, how do you keep in touch with the pulse of the customer? How do you decide what to put out in the market? What products, varieties do you put out in the market, be it your stores, be it your channels? How do you do that? How do you stay connected to the ground?
Okay. So I'll just tell you a bit about myself. I mean, when I got into doing business, I first did online. I mean, I started selling jewelry from the year 2004 or 5. Since that time, I know away from Malamal times. Since then, we have been selling jewelry online. And then, obviously, our family had retail stores since then. And then eventually, I moved to retail stores. I learned one thing in that you should always talk to your customers. The more you talk, the more they only teach you what they want and what the gap is. My journey from selling online, and still we do online pretty well on jewelry, and we have been doing phenomenally well there as well. We take on doing online. We obviously do a lot of customer calling. I personally talk to a lot of customers to understand their feedback on the product. Before you also be getting any new collection, we need to ask them whether this work or not work. I mean, and that goes to only a few of our loyal customers. On the retail front, obviously we have one-to-one interaction, so we get to know their taste, their choice, and that actually helps us to curate new product better. For us, it is easier to test on the retail front and then take it online, because here we have got ready customers there. So if anything new that we get, we first test at the retail stores, if that is pretty working well, and then we take it online. But obviously there are different set of customers who take retail and online. We see that on retail stores, we obviously have a higher bill value than online. So we obviously come up with a section of product which are there only for online and not the retail store. And again, that only goes by understanding a previous customer's purchase buying patterns. We also go in depth of understanding different cities have different culture of people have different choice of thoughts. So to understand that, does a Maharashtrian, what kind of product they like. So we tend to launch those kind of products more. And we have realized that our products basically are liked more by Bengalis, by the Malayalis, by Tamilians. So we have more of those collection in our list and less of the other section of people. So that comes only by understanding more of customers. And I use a lot of tech a lot in my company since the very beginning time, since 2005. I've invested a lot of money in tech, and that gives me a lot of understanding of my customer data. So that's where I think one should talk to more of customers, understand what the purchasing patterns are. That's what we have used so far.
Very interesting answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Deep is here. Deep is the no. Of course, it's yeah, it's still how to work. Oh, is it? I now work for Amazon. Goodie bag or something. IV company. You guys know
Have your
Sorry, we didn't get into the conversation.
So how is the sales going on? Pretty directly order on the website.
It is right as any other website. And we make all the orders. We manufacture it based on order. We don't pre-make it and sell it. We have to in shelves we do, but online orders we only make it after we receive it. We don't pre-make it. Even if the customers start to do something, we have to check. So other one is sage butter, and we do white labeling. Okay. We used to do an apprenticeship out there. And now we put it in full capacity, not the conservators in old market. We used to do it. We had some issue with the product because giving us a chance to they were afraid about all these rates and you are not going to supply. We are an issue with come to us. But lastly, yeah, where is our yeah. Yeah. These two are the ones which we really stick to if you have to buy anyway. Which are like, but we still only